Hello, everyone, and welcome to State of the Realm, your weekly Final Fantasy XIV podcast. Last week, we had kind of a different style of episode. We had the announcement stream, and we did a discussion right after the fact, fresh off the presses, and then we tried to do a live letter show, and, well, the 4-hour live letter became a 1.5-hour show because I could not leave all of our suffering in. This episode will be giving you some more grounded thoughts on the announcement stream on Friday and actually cover the stuff from the live letter that we can discuss if we can even remember it after the 3 hours that came after the initial announcement stuff. But to do that, we're going to need some people. So I'm one of those people, I suppose. It's Mr. Happy. We got, Sly. Sly's chilling right here. How's it going, Sly? You doing all right, Sly?
I'm doing awesome.
You are?
Yes.
Yeah! All right. I don't know why I did that. Anyway, also, against his girlfriend's better wishes, Ethys is here as well because she wants to sleep at normal times, and he's not gonna let that happen.
Well, I've just been here in my chair where I'd fallen asleep after the last show, and about 20 minutes ago, I just heard Mike in my headset going, Ethys, wake up, we're doing a show. So I don't know, how many days has it been?
It's not 2020 anymore, so I guess time flow has returned to normal-ish?
Yeah.
Maybe? I don't know. We'll figure it out in the middle of the show.
Yeah, we'll work it out. We'll fix it in post.
And we also...
but that's where I am.
Alright, just interrupt me while I'm about to continue talking right there. That's fine. It's fine. Just woke up.
I can do it again.
It's fine.
I can do it again.
It's fine. No, it's fine. And we brought on another guest that... somebody else was also just as smart to want to invite this guest because he beat me to it on Saturday, and I'm like, damn it! I'm still going to ask him. We brought Larry on. We haven't had Larry on in ages. How's it going, Larry?
Hi. I'm Larry.
Hi.
I am here to represent the Gundam fans, along with Sly.
Sly's got that
So we
covered,
got
but
two.
you can co-represent.
Yeah, we have two now.
See, I even wore my
You were playing it right before we started.
Oh, jeez.
You were playing it right before we started.
Sage. I gotta get that Sage preview going. What are you talking about?
I agree. You will be our resident Sage Lord. So.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see you heal on it, Sly. I can't wait for Sly Healer.
What do you mean? That's just DPS.
True.
What are you talking about?
True.
Gundams are DPS. They never heal. They destroy.
That sounds like the Duty Finder. That is correct. Okay.
Yeah.
That checks out. Okay, cool. Well, it's good to have everyone on today. Hopefully you're all rested after the weekend of Yeah, we were talking about. Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with y'all? I got actual good sleep, and I was the only one actually feasible that night.
So you just called yourself feasible. I don't know that you rested since Friday. I don't.
Feasible is high praise.
Oh, it's okay.
I did.
I was all right.
Absolutely
Feasible.
I was feasible. All right, that's fine. Anyway, before we get started with our rambling ons about the exciting news, I didn't even aim for this joke. They had to point it out to me. I said grounded, and then they pointed it out. Now I want to make nothing but moon and gravity jokes, so it's their fault for doing it. That's fine. I wasn't on purpose. I just use that word all the time. We have stop it. We have sponsors. we have our usual sponsors for the show. We got Steel Series. They got a giveaway. It's going to be in the description of the YouTube video. Thank you to them for sponsoring, as they always do. Patrons, thank you to you as well. Their names are scrolling in the top right corner. And because it was a short shout out and Sly's giving me mean looks, thank you to the Patrons of Darkness, Khuja, Jenova, and Kurenai Oni. Thank you to them for going above and beyond. I also decided to surprise Ethys because he wasn't ready for the Pod Champs here at the beginning, and I've finally beaten him.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you did. You got me.
There you go. Wasn't ready for it. I knew I could get him. I saw your hands were full, so.
I'm not going to start going into PogChamp and how we're feeling about PogChamp right now.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. All right.
It's not very poggers.
No, it's not. No. But some of the people who have been represented by it are cool people. The people who have
some of them are very poggers.
Yeah. Some of them are also really cool though. Some of them. My friend yesterday was PogChamp. He was PogChamp yesterday. I like it. Anyway, I don't know which. I want you guys to pick what we start with here because we're in a unique position. At this, don't give me that look. Stop giving me that look, Sly. The audio listeners can't see you. He's just smiling at me. I don't know what he's smiling for.
I think he wants to start with the Gundams.
It sounds like it. It seems okay. Well, that's his vote. I was gonna say, do you want to start with the Endwalker stuff, or do you want to start with the stuff we literally couldn't survive on Friday for the reactions with 5.5?
Ooh, I think we should start with 5.5.
Oh,
okay. Well, that means Larry splits the vote.
Oh no! Don't do this to me, man.
I think we should get 5.5 over with so we can like get in deep. You know.
So you want to get the bad news over first and then go to the good news?
Yeah.
Why is 5.5 bad news though?
Sly, you know why 5.5.
Oh no,
5.5
itself is not, but actually, it depends who you ask. However,
yes,
the live letter itself, yes.
Yeah, he's right. He is right. Now that I think about it, definitely that.
So get the downer out of the way.
Get the downer out of the way.
Yeah,
okay, we're going
let's just
sequentially.
rip off the Band-Aid.
Yeah, rip off the Band-Aid. Start sequentially. So on Friday there were two streams: the announcement stream and the 5.5 live letter. And 5.5, this is one of the biggest surprises that came out of, I guess, technically the announcement stream, but is relevant to the live letter. Is we have the farthest in advance notice of a patch day I think we've ever had.
Hold on, really quick. Yeah, hold on. I just want to say I was watching your guys' reaction to it because I was watching everybody's reaction to the trailer, and so I went in and I saw they revealed the date, and you were like, "That's the earliest date we've ever had for Ultimate." And I was like, "Oh no!"
Svea and I ate shit. All right,
tweets that did not age well.
Tweets and comments that did not age well. Normally, it's like something from like 2015 that somebody tweeted, or something from 2018, or maybe when they were 6.
That was the fastest turnaround.
It was such a. Listen, we'll talk about that a little bit, okay? We'll talk about that a little bit. Yeah, but April 13th, we already have a day. This is not something we need to wait for the part 2 live letter for. I don't know if you guys are already planning your gaming schedules around that. If it gets in the way of anything, if it's got a nice isolated section. I know it's kind of close to the Outriders launch for anyone who's interested in that, but I'm not sure what else. It's maybe a little too close to Monster Hunter Rise for some people's taste. That's about the only other thing I could think of. It's like 2 weeks later.
Wait, when was it?
April 13th.
When's Rise?
April.
Oh,
yeah.
That's
13th,
right before the Nier Replicant release. Ooh. The Nier Replicant remake.
So anything else? Anything else that... I actually might try Replicant because it looks, to me, my taste, a little more suitable than Automata. I saw some heavy weapons in there that looked more satisfying than the... I'm just not a fan of holding the shoot button still. I'm never going to be a big fan of...
You might need to do that.
Yeah. No, I'm aware. I'm well aware of that. That's about it. I wonder if that's on purpose. It's right around the time I didn't even think about that. As for the end of the collaboration and Nier Replicant are both right around the same. I didn't even catch that. Sly, where were you on that comment?
What? I'm just the Rise portion of that comment.
Okay, that's fair.
So yeah.
Larry took care of the other heart. Okay, that's fair. I appreciate that. What about you, Ethys? Do you care about either ends of that, Rise or that, or is it in a nice crisp place?
Look, I'm excited for Rise, but I'm really hoping for a PC release. And I'm just kind of like holding on to wait until we hear about something. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. If it happens, it'll probably happen like 12 months later down the road. But
I really don't think it'll even happen. Think about Gen U.
Okay. Yeah.
Gen U never got a PC release.
No.
So
yeah,
I think they'd be crazy not to.
Yeah,
at this point.
I think Rise might get a PC. I know there's rumors and stuff going around, but they never had any stock in those with the way Nintendo rumors always end up going. I think it's likely for. I think they saw the success of World, and I think they almost feel like they will need to. Gen U is still kind of like a Monster Hunter, like aficionado, like it's a hardcore Monster Hunter title. They probably didn't feel the need to as much. Yeah, we'll see though, because it is Nintendo. So that's...
Yeah, I'm not expecting it, but I'm just kind of like waiting for the moment.
Yeah, I wouldn't be. I'm playing it on Switch. Even if it runs at 20 FPS, I don't care.
well, I'm ready. I'm all ready for 5.5.
Good. because after the announcement stream, we have a lot of questions to answer with what happens in 5.5, in case anyone's got any curiosities. Now, 5.5, some of the stuff that they announced was kind of traditional. There will be new main story quests. There will be, the Sorrow of Wurlet will be continued. Please tell me I'm not the only one who saw Diamond Weapon revealed, and I thought that for a brief second, his legs were too small.
Yeah, he's a little nugget.
Yeah. Well, because they weren't showing all of his legs. You know, they were showing. It wasn't.
Well, Valens realized that he couldn't keep control of the Xenos Warasite.
Yeah.
What do they call it? The Oversoul, right? So maybe it was just like, I gotta keep him on a leash and maybe just chop him off at the knees so that he can't run away quite so fast. I don't know. I'm sure there's a lore explanation for it.
For little legs?
Yeah. They aren't little. They just look little. That was my whole.
No. They're little. They're small.
Sly, are there any Gundams that have really short legs?
Zeong. Zeong.
How did you know that so quick?
Because he's a weeaboo.
It kind of looks like Zazabi kind of shit, with those big ass shoulders, but
oh god, there's two of them.
Sly, you're gonna have such a good time having Larry here.
And this goes, there's two of them.
Oh no, there's two of them now.
This is getting out of hand.
This is perfect for Sly. Sly's usually all alone.
The funny thing about the weapon series, people say they didn't really like the Sapphire fight. I'm like, what the fuck is
They're
wrong?
wrong.
You get a fucking robot, and we're probably
they have Gundam quotes in it. They have I have control. You could say I have control. It's so good.
And a Gynax pose. Fuck.
Yes.
The fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, but everyone got that pose. That pose they got out of the way in the trailer. So by the time we saw it in the game, I was like, yeah, we know.
Prediction, I think the next figure or statue we're getting is G Warrior. And I hope and pray.
I think you're right.
I hope and pray it comes with little LEDs and shit and a really awesome.
Better. It's gonna let you do a little Gymax pose as an emote. That's what it's gonna do.
Yes.
I'm gonna raise you guys G Warrior mount.
Yeah, I want a G Warrior mount. I want the G Warrior as a gunpla. I want when you buy the gunpla, you get the Gynax post in the game.
Yes.
Yeah. All those things.
All right.
You're
gonna raise us, and then what are you gonna give us? What are you gonna give us at this?
No, I'm just saying,
he's gonna
G Warrior is a mount.
He's gonna play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna play. All right. Well. Okay. It's it's funny because when I predicted we'd be fighting in the G Warrior, Sly, you didn't believe me. You didn't think I was right.
I didn't think there were a lot of Gundam fans in the dev team.
You were wrong.
I was wrong. I was fucking wrong.
More now than ever.
How could you possibly be surprised?
They're all right in that age group of growing up with it. So
yeah,
yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you only need one also. The guy who's making that. That's the only one you need, realistically.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we also got the patch named Death Unto Dawn, which fitting given the events of 5.4. Some also believe fitting based on Yoshi P's shirt. Some questioned if his shirt was less a hint about jobs and more an allusion to that. I think you're wrong if you think that, but that's fine.
You're entitled.
You're entitled to that opinion.
It's okay to have opinions. They're just wrong.
Wow.
We'll get part 1 on April 13th, and towards the end of May, we will get part 2 of that. They didn't really make any mention of the length of part 1 and part 2. Are we expecting it to be like Stormblood, where it was less like 2 giant, massive story patches versus just taking one story patch and splitting it down the middle, or does this warrant a little bit more finesse, I suppose?
I think that there's not that much left to tell, honestly. Seeing the trailer and seeing that we're going to be dealing with the towers and we're going to be dealing with the Terminus Beast and with Fandaniel and Xenos and all of that, I was kind of suspecting, before we saw the trailer, that we'd have done, a lot of that work in 5.5. But, where we are in 5.4, there doesn't seem to be that much in between where we're at and where the trailer is at. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like there's Pagothan and there's us like learning what's going on and then being like, okay, here's what's at stake. Here's what we have to do moving into the expansion. But there's not that much like work left to be done in terms of narrative. So I'm expecting it to be more like Stormblood and less like, ARR sort of 2.5 and 2.55 was, personally.
Yeah, as opposed to, like the end of Stormblood when we got the Shadowbringers trailer, when we were like, how do we get from where we are right now to that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's completely different. It's like we are like what we just did is already there. We're already there.
We're basically there.
So
what's funny about that is the answer ended up being we got somebody called us on our link pearl in the middle of a battlefield and we woke up and they were like, listen, come on, like you got to get over here. Like, we can't wait any longer. We're like, okay, that's it. I guess I was fighting Elidibus and Xenos, and now I'm going to leave. Okay.
Yeah. That's all you need for an isekai. That's all you need.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
You just got to wake up.
Inside. Anyway. Sly. I'm amazed that got a chuckle out of you, Sly. Beyond ecstatic. That even got a chuckle out of you.
Shameful.
All right, offering 2 parts. All right, probably the scariest thing is the only screenshot we got of the trailer is one that makes sense in this context, but one that didn't go so well exactly, that many patches ago in the Eorzean Alliance all in one room again.
One day they're going to actually learn not to keep doing this.
Wait, what?
The only screenshot they gave us from that live letter was just them all sitting at the, it looks like they're in Ishgard. Yeah, they're in Ishgard. Yeah.
Larry, you don't remember that every time we get together?
No, they're in Alamigo.
Alamigo, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. No, I remember, Sly. I mean, I don't remember seeing a picture. But I remember now.
We got a shot at Pagothan as well.
Yeah. That's for
that's the other thing. We're going to Pagothan. We learned at the end of 5.4, and this is so ironic. Like, one of the sort of first story beats of A Realm Reborn was, hey, the Amaljar are kidnapping humans to, sacrifice to Ifrit to have Ifrit temper. At the end of 5.4, we're told, hey, so humans are kidnapping Amaljar. Like, we don't know what's going on with that, but that's gonna go somewhere. So Pagothan, we're gonna have to deal with, Lunar Ifrit, one way or another, right?
Yep. I think that's the most unavoidable thing. I think about it. It's really only 3.5 we weren't in. Okay. Actually, no. Almost every 0.5 patches ended in some sort of council room. Ul'dah, we had Ul'dah for end of 2.55 with the banquet. We had Gridania, I think, for 3.5 to decide about Omega.
Yeah, talking about Omega. That's right. Yeah.
4.5 was in where were it? Was that in Ishgard? I don't remember where that was.
We were in a war room.
We were in Alamigo.
Like some kind of war room.
We were in Alamigo again. Okay, I can remember.
Yeah, Alamigo or the Menage.
And now we're back there.
Yeah. And now we're back. Yeah. Well, unless you want to consider the Resistance camp, the meeting spot of 4.5. I was thinking more about when everyone got called, more so than the Resistance room with Varys. But every expansion needs to stop ending because nothing good ever happens. They need to stop. Just call each other. It's way safer.
Do you think they'll reference that in the patch? Like how they keep going to like conference rooms like, hey, we really need to fucking stop this. Can we like meet at a bar or something?
Listen, if we just hop over to Balmung and go to the quicksands, I know a great place we can sit down and have a chat. That's it.
I'm just imagining them all sitting around the war room, but there's like poles and they're all getting lap dances.
No, that's over on the first in Yulmore. That's what it would look like if Yulmore was on the source.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, so what should we do about Xenos? Like,
no, what should we do about
Sounds like got his body back. That's weird. Can we just do this at Buskaran Druthers, please and thank you?
Hell yeah.
See, Sly's already got his locale picked out. If the warrior gets to pick the location next, then Sly's all set. There you go. After that, as you said, we are going to Pagalthon, the Amalja homeland. I guess just another, like, I think it's just going to be an excuse to show us Lunar Ifrit, and there's more lunar primals. I mean, I can't really imagine it does much of anything else.
Who's Lunar Ifrit?
It's the lunar version of Ifrit.
What?
We're assuming. We are,
we are assuming.
Getting ahead of ourselves here.
Okay, I thought I missed something. I was like, wait a minute.
Because it's also, it doesn't look like it's in great shape either, but it could just be because of the foreboding sunset behind with the tower in the back. It just doesn't look like it's in proper array. I don't know. Something like that. But
the world's ending. So
a little bit, yeah. There is, but it hasn't ended yet. You know, it's like it's on the way, but we got a little bit of time here. I do wonder how much vision it's meant to invoke from the trailer, which actually shows Limsa Lominsa on fire, which I don't think will be the case quite literally when we go to 6.0.
I hope so.
I know you hope so.
I want everything to be on fire. I think that'd be really cool. Just all the Realm Reborn zones. Yeah. Yeah.
Just on, but like nothing else. Just there's fire now.
Yeah.
That's it.
Every Realm Reborn zone is just on fire.
There's a lot you can do just by playing around with the skybox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder how much of that will be instanced similar to the way that, I mean, we learned that with Shadowbringers, the skybox and the weather being, you know, completely shrouded in light and coming and going depending on the story beats and things like that. So
I
think that's very
the technology
possible
to do that.
I think it's very possible. Final chapter of Sorrow of Warlit. We already mentioned the beanbag legs. And then we just got Valen's looking at it. I really have, other than what people are trying to achieve in this series, I don't even know how this series ends in one patch. I don't know how Sorrow of Warlit comes to end other than very abruptly.
Kill him.
We burn out the bat.
Yeah, but it feels like there should still be so much more to go. Like, it doesn't feel like it's one of those things. It's kind of like where I am with the Resistance Weapon quest line or the Save the Queen, which we'll talk about later, where it's like it feels like there's so much ahead, you know, of that particular story.
Do you think this gets its kind of like victory lap / epilogue?
Yes. I think they've already been doing it every patch, and it's been fantastic.
Yeah, they have been. Yeah. So I think we will. We'll deal with Diamond in 5.5, and then in 5.55 we'll get to watch Gaius just like beating Valens into a pulp.
That'd be great. Yes,
so cathartic. Yes.
I would love for us to not kill Valens and for I will pass up on that opportunity to watch Gaius beat that ass.
I mean, that's very like unbecoming of the Warrior of Light. And very becoming of Gaius.
Hey, the last time we almost let that happen was when Asahi was with Tsukiyomi when we almost lost our temper there. So
yeah, but we didn't.
We didn't. No,
that's too bad that we didn't. By the way, we probably should have in retrospect.
Yeah, in retrospect. Yeah.
Just in case he was already an Asian, you know, we're not. He said he found the body. I don't know if I believe it still, but you know, there is always that.
We should have made it so there was no body to find.
Exactly.
Yeah, Tsukiyomi should have put one of their spears like through his face.
Right.
Yeah.
Then the Ashen would just come back with like a scar on his face, and then, you know.
Yeah, they got a really bad habit of just never going for the head. It's always a straight body shot with literally every death. It's like, hello, come on. Should have taken Xenos' head off while we were at it. I mean, he could have done it himself. He did half the work for us. Yeah. Then we have Yorha Dark Apocalypse, which they didn't give us the name for. They just showed us another Seed of Destruction and another little dwarf next to it, which is never good news, ever. For anyone who knows Drakengard, that's very bad. Or for anyone who did 5.4's quests, it's very bad to see something along those lines. Okay, poll. Do we have to New Game Plus Yorha to get the true ending and play through all the raids multiple times?
Yeah, they already added it to New Game Plus, didn't they?
They sure
or
did.
not?
I'm pretty sure some of it's there.
Absolutely.
God.
I like how two of you don't even want to vote.
Look, true ending implies that there was like a story to end in the first place.
I mean,
no, you only get the story
can begin
on the
and end. I feel like a story began and it will certainly end.
Oh, so maybe you need to do New Game Plus to actually get a story out of it.
Yes.
Well, yeah, that's why the original one works too. That's how your Automata
cool.
works. Anyway. You literally don't know the game until you New Game Plus it in Automata.
Okay.
So yeah, that's actually accurate. Right. It's still all the same.
Okay. So you're saying we haven't done anything just yet?
Literally, yeah. The whole story is like, it won't even make sense until you New Game Plus a couple times.
Great.
Yeah, you'll New Game Plus, and then the raid bosses will be talking to you, and you'll learn things from them.
They'll have new voice lines.
Oh, they're people. We like them. Yeah. Make you feel bad for killing them. That kind of thing.
I think it's going to happen.
So this is how it redeems itself?
I didn't say it was going to be redeeming. I just think it's what's going to happen. It could be redeeming. It could very well be redeeming. It could. But I didn't say that. So don't put words in my mouth. Okay?
I was just asking.
Anyone going to delete their character and then deleted characters just show up in the raids to like help people? We need to get Layla on that ASAP. He can definitely help with the whole deleting the character thing. His character will be right there.
Why?
Right back from Twin Tanya. Be perfect. All right. Sorry, Layla. Had to do it.
Leave Layla alone.
I can't. That story is way too funny. It's just way too funny. For anyone who doesn't know, Layla once accidentally deleted his character in A Realm Reborn in the middle of Turn 5 Prague. And
I really want to know how you accidentally do that, because you have to like say it multiple times, and it's like, are you sure? And he was like, yeah, what happens if I say yeah?
I forgot. I gotta find it's on one of the State of the Realms. He does explain the whole thing on one State of the Realms. So I have to go back and look at the ones he's been on and find the whole story, because it's fantastic. It's a great story. But yeah, Yorha is going to be continuing, as Larry pointed out, all too close to the release of Replicant. So I guess if you that's the end of that collaboration. And then crafters are going to be getting more challenging expert recipes as part of a new crafter update, and gatherers are also going to be getting some quality of life in regards to the log. Again, Sly, you said one of the big things you're looking forward to for Endwalkers on Friday was to see what they do with crafters and gatherers. Man, I don't know how you do it after this, after like everything they've done this expansion, because they're still doing things for crafters and gatherers in this expansion.
Good.
Yeah?
Keep doing it.
But what do they do from here? Do they just make even more expert recipes? Like, is that just it? Is that the answer going forward? More and more expert recipes and content that uses expert recipes?
That? I mean, what else can we... Well, I feel like after all the fires and shit, we're going to have to rebuild something, right?
Garlemald.
Yeah, Garlemald.
You ready for Garlemald restoration, Sly?
But why, though?
Listen, there's a bunch of people who are against their will displaced by what's happening over there.
Fuck them kids.
Yeah, good luck getting volunteers to restore Garlemald.
We're the Warrior of Light, though. We're going to be like, look at this.
Like,
they would
like the provinces are all still in ruins. Yeah, like you know, Kugane's still Dome is still in ruins.
No, we helped the Enclave.
We should really help out the Gallians.
We rebuilt the Dome and Enclave.
Yeah, the Dome and Enclave. I'm just saying that the provinces are all like still absolutely annihilated, and we're going to be like, we should help these poor Gallians. We really should.
They helped us.
And everyone's going to be like, you know what? You're right. No, I don't.
They don't have to agree. Only the adventurers and the Warrior of Light has to agree.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. They've got hands. They don't need more volunteers. They've got hands.
Again, fuck them kids, man.
That's messed
maybe
up,
that's
man.
Maybe that's part of why they blew up Garlemald, because they don't want us to ask for housing there. They'll just think that it's too blown up for us to want to ask.
I mean, I agree. But, you know, it's already going to be a shit show when Ishgard gets housing and people are like, I helped build this. And Square Enix is like, look what we built. And
yeah,
they're going to be like, I want a house. Be like, we have house.
That's too bad.
Get in line. All the oh god, I don't want 6.1 is going to be a time, man. I don't. Not looking forward to it, believe it or not. Explorer mode starting to get some new features. They're going back to the old dungeons. They're actually kind of fast track. I didn't think we'd already have the level 70 dungeons ready for this. And then probably in the expansion, I assume 50, 60, maybe even 24 mans will get added to Explorer mode. At least it's not Duty Recorder, man. This one's actually getting supported and stuff.
Yeah.
It's still upsets
Yeah, it's
me.
actually getting stuff.
Duty Recorder.
Man, Duty Recorder was such the biggest letdown because when they first announced it, I was like, oh, this is perfect. But
then I remembered that turning on Marilla's action and pressing F9 was probably going to remain the superior way of doing things after that was implemented. It was not a pleasant experience. And that's largely what we got about 5.5. There was a bunch of like little comments about stuff in between, especially regarding... I guess the Save the Queen stuff, Resistance Weapon questline stuff. We know there's a hotfix coming to try and get more people to do a castrum. That'll probably be well before 5.5 actually hits. I'd expect in the next couple of weeks. Have you guys had much experience with that so far? I know we're mostly talking about 5.5, but given we just had the previous patch last Tuesday, I wonder if you guys have had much experience with Blue Mage, with Delibrum, with the new relic weapon step, and if anything to say. We might as well throw that in here because it's kind of hard to make a whole show about anything in there except for maybe the story.
I haven't done much Blue Mage yet, but I have done Delibrum normal. I haven't done the Savage. But grinding, I wasn't level 15 yet, so I've been doing that to grind up to level 15. And most of the time, you'll see Castrum pop, and then one person will go in, and I'll just see in shout chat, anybody who isn't in Castrum is a baby. And then it's just one guy that's queued in, and that's him. I'm like, I'm not going in there. I didn't get metal.
I'm not doing that.
I'm just going to lose metal. That's all that's going to happen. So,
right.
It hasn't been too bad on light, actually. People have been shouting like, hey, we've got a couple of people doing their first time Castrum run. Can someone please help? And there'll normally be like, 20, 24 people, which is enough. But there's a bit of grumbling. They do really need to like help incentivize it. So this is good.
You're still under the impression that 20 to 24 is enough?
Absolutely.
I've done a ton of 20 to 24s. Listen, Sly, absolutely. Luckily we're not on Primal, so we don't have an issue with this.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah, 20 is enough on Aether. Maybe we need that precedence set up there.
Okay, see, here's the thing. Like, I'll go in. Like, if people need to like complete Castrum, like in my party, I'm like, sure, I'll go in with you. And then I see, I don't know, 20, 22. I'm like, okay, and I'm just shouting. Okay, how many people are new to this? Like, great. Okay, we'll explain what to do. For now, just get into parties and we'll tell you where to go. Either go up top or go down bottom, depending on how many we need. And somehow, some way, like 4 people fuck it up, and then one's like top heavy or bottom heavy, and we're like, everybody's like, why are we dying? Because nobody's up top or nobody's down bottom. And I like from here on in, I tell people, would that mean like that amount of people going into Cashman, like 20s, like early 20s? I'm just going to tell you right now, this is your first time. It's a metal loss. Just go ahead and back out until you get more people. Nope, they still go in. And they come back out all pissed and shit. I'm like, what the fuck did Uncle Sly say? What did Uncle Sly tell you? One of these days, you're going to listen to Uncle Sly. Just wait. Trust me. It's a fucking metal loss. Are you still?
I don't want to hear anything about metal loss. I don't want to hear a goddamn word about it.
Oh, believe me, I know. We're still pretty fucking early on Primal in terms of like scheduling and everything. Like, y'all went ham on Aether. Y'all got it. We're pretty much evenings, I guess, for Delirium Savage. I don't give a fuck. I know I'm going to lose it. And that's what I'm going to tell people. Like, as soon as they get out and they have to do normal. Hell, normal. If you're going in for your first time on normal, Yeah, that's going to be a metal loss. That's going to be a fucking metal loss. That's nothing compared to the shit you will experience in Savage.
So you're on 0 now, right, Mike?
No, I farmed back up. I'm at 500k again.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, 0. Like, a lot of people... Yeah, a lot of people are going to be at 0 and get their Savage clear and be like, all right, cool, I'm done. And then we're going to get 5.55 and it's going to be like, oh, yeah, you need rank 20 now. So
yeah.
Funny thing, I needed to get 78,000 because I can't do the weekly without it.
Yeah,
oh, shit. Really?
Yeah. You need 78,000.
Wait, to queue into the weekly, you need...
No.
Just to accept the quest.
Just to accept the quest.
Yeah.
Like, if you've already accepted... If you're already accepted, I mean, like it has nothing to do with Savage, but again, if you already gone through normal, like you can just still get in, but you just to do that quest you need 78,000.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be funny if it consumed 78,000 when you accepted the quest?
Wouldn't mind.
I would think that'd be pretty funny.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. You know how I got to 500,000 again? I've just been taking 1v1s.
Oh, really?
A 1v1 is 118,000 metal.
Oh, but you got to beat it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's beyond my skill level. I cannot do that.
Larry, you've done ultimate. You'll be fine.
Okay.
Just don't
but
wear...
you need special actions, right?
I never even looked at it. Dispel and Mana Wall. Like, for most... Like, Gabriel just needs Mana Wall. Lion needs Dispel and Mana Wall. And preferably a Gap Closer. And Sartavon needs Medkits. Medkits is the big thing.
So, Medkit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
okay. Interesting.
Just whatever you do... Don't wear your legend title the first time you try. That's
okay.
That's a real stupid.
Bad idea.
Well, see, I'm way ahead of you. I don't wear the legend title because I don't want people to laugh at me when I mess up anything. I just don't wear it.
Just not at all. It's just not gonna work.
Mike, you got guards up for the 1v1s, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There you go.
And I also died to one the other day.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
It was real embarrassing. Yeah. Died to one today, too, but I re-raised, so it was okay. Listen, just because I know how to do them doesn't mean they're still not a pain in the ass sometimes, all right? Especially Gabriel with the stupid... his extreme caution was off my debuff bar. I'm like, okay, it's safe to move now. And then it fucking hit me somehow. I was like, I have a clip. Go watch the clip. It's so upsetting. It's so upsetting. Anyway, moving on. I was watching Miz was doing some on Primal last night. Savage, they were working on the trash pull and the first boss or whatnot. I think Salu organized it. It's fun to see people just enjoying dying. It's a rare thing in this game.
What would you consider the difficulty compared to BA?
I think BA was mostly 24-man difficulty. I think like Art No Wayne are really like they're even easier than 24-man bosses. I'd say AV is really the first one that's kind of like, it's maybe a little more, I'd say it's just more punishing than 24-mans, but it's not really any harder than your average 24-man, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. I'd say all of these are at least extreme trial level.
Each one?
Yeah, with arguably the final boss. The final boss and the first boss actually almost feel more so. Closer to like E9-ish. But not really. They're kind of short. They're all short fights. They're all like 9.5 minute fights, approximately. Mm-hmm. So yeah, extreme-ish level, I'd say. So if you can do extreme trials, I'd say you're well on your way, depending on your ability to read mechanics. That's fine. Because there's no room for the people who like limp through EX where they die every pull, but you still keep them in the farm party. That you can't have that person. That person can't stay. That's not gonna work. Bigger thing with Savage is it's way more exacting on actions than BA is. BA is like perception and like a couple dispels maybe, and that's like you're done. This is like you need 6 reflects and 2 dispels, and you need like 4 perceptions, and you need somebody to have dispel for the 1v1 that's in there, and then you need to have like organized one person has Flare Star, every ranged physical wants Dervish, and it's a lot more everyone needs to bring. You can't have anyone bullshitting is the big thing.
Darn.
I'm going to go as far as to say is after you are on the first boss, not after the first boss, on the first boss, if you're not using pure essences, you are trolling. So, because the final boss's room-wide AoEs do 160,000 to each person unmitigated, and you have 70,000 health as a non-tanker healer in there. So trolling.
You'll just die.
Yeah, and it has a bleed, so you'll just die.
Great.
Tanks need
so
ether.
If you barely live. Yeah, so if you barely live from the AoE, then one more tick. Okay, bye.
Yeah, pretty much. That's It's a lot of fun. They did a fantastic job with Savage. We'll probably do a dedicated show to that sometime in the coming weeks. We'll probably grab like a few people that were on Ether and go over that in more detail. How about you, Ethys? Any plans to venture into the Savage mode or any experiences with normal
absolutely.
thus far?
Yeah. I've done normal like 3 times now, and it's a lot of fun. It's really, really cool. Like great sort of fight design. I don't know. Like I'm really enjoying the story of Boja. There's not much more to say about it, but yeah, I'm excited to get in the Savage. I don't know if there are any groups on Light that are really like hitting at it in a major way. If there are, then shoot me a message.
Yeah, that would. I think you should definitely try or organize it yourself, but don't do that because fuck doing that.
No,
God bless people who are willing to lead. I will call out a mechanic. I will not herd 47 other people. There's no way.
Yeah, agreed.
Sounds like a lot of work.
Have you guys caught up on all the story in there? I know I had to go back and watch it and whatnot. Do we think that the final zone is a giant airship?
That's what my first thought.
Yeah, I think it seems likely, doesn't it? Final zone is called Zadnor.
Yeah.
And that's not a name we've seen in any other Final Fantasy titles. It's not a name that really like means anything to me, at least. I was kind of like looking stuff up. But you know, it would make sense for it to be the airship, right?
I hope it is. I think that'd be cool.
It would be cool. It would be a lot of fun.
I hope so, at least. It could also be completely awful because we know the Garlean aesthetic is. We love it so much after 7 years.
Oh yes, so. Absolutely. Which is why, I guess, kind of side tangent of everybody wanting to go to Garlemald and wanting the next expansion to be all Garlemald. I'm like, Garlemald would be pretty boring, I think. Like, if the whole expansion was Garlemald?
Unless it's in pieces and there's a Tower of Babel in the center. Yeah.
That's how we spice it up.
Yeah. The only reason the Garlean aesthetic is interesting is because it's parasitic, right? Is because like we go to Alamigo and we've got all these beautiful old ruins that has the Garlean stuff just kind of like clinging to it and like sucking the life out of it. But Garlemald itself is just going to be like well, I mean, we've seen it, right?
We have seen it.
Seeing it destroyed, seeing it destroyed with a giant, like void tower coming out of it, it's going to be fun.
It could be. It could be. Yeah. That could indeed be fun. It's been a good patch. Any Blue Mage? Any Blue Mage work from any of you?
Not yet.
Just leveling it.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
Just leveling it and using it for Relic as well, going into Circus Tower with it.
Yeah.
Because that's the fastest way to do it.
It is indeed. I just did all the spells. This is what the first Blue Mage patch should have looked like back at level 50, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
You can solo pretty much every dungeon spell now with the new ability. With one new ability, that's all it took. And yeah, the very first ability you're forced to learn for the story doubles your damage and healing. That gives you permanent sprint movement speed, I believe. And it causes the damage reduction, the damage you deal reduction from Mighty Guard, it removes it. So you just get the damage reduction from Mighty, But only if you're in an instance that's designed for 2 or more people and you're alone. It's the only condition you can use the ability.
Oh, you have to be alone.
Yes. It is literally the solo ability.
Button.
That's cool.
It's a solo button. Yeah.
So you just go Super Saiyan Blue Mage. That's really cool.
Yeah. So I did all of my level 70 dungeons alone and learned all the spells from them alone. So
that's really cool.
It's really, really cool. It's a lot of fun. And the new spells are also busted as all hell in other ways. But that's the first thing they tell you to learn, and it's great.
Oh man, I'm excited now. I got to get that.
Yeah, and if you missed any of the old dungeons stuff, you can go back and solo those, because now we have undersized with level sync, which you can use to learn the spells with 100%, because you have to be level synced to have the 100% learn rate in a dungeon in an instance. Mm-hmm. So you can, it's perfect. It's amazing. Would highly recommend it if you've been afraid of Blue Mage because you can't learn the spells. Go back and slap some stuff. You'll be a good time.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, so mess with that. And apparently the raids are like uber hard. Like Omega is actually like ungodly difficult compared to Alexander and Coil, even though there's no mount associated with it this time. There's only
what
titles.
Do you get? You get a title?
Yeah, there's titles this time. There's probably going to be a mount that requires these somewhere down the line regardless. But
yeah, I would imagine.
This time around. Which brings me to an important point. Why a Cerberus mount from Delubrum? It was a weird...
kind of random.
Because Cerberus was a critical engagement.
There was a critical engagement
That's not a good enough... We had just... give me her chair. I want the toot-toot. I want the toot-toot
Yeah, I hear that.
You're calling it the toot-toot.
Yeah, it's got a... It's got a...
it's got a little toot on it.
It's got a little toot, yeah.
No, that was definitely the justification, though.
I don't like the title from Blue Mage, the Azure and the Omega. So the Alpha and the Omega, it's the Azure and the Omega. I'm like, Blue Justice.
No, that's lazy.
Words.
That's lazy.
Yeah. They could have done better.
Yeah, definitely could have done better. But that covers, and then the Relic Quest is just grind. This is more like the old Relic Quests. A lot more like the old Relic Quests, where it's like, do 15 of this 24 mana, do 18 of that one, 18 of this one, 15 Delibrums. And it's like, all right, I guess you got me here. No tombstones, at least. That's about the only thing they got. No light farm, no tombstones. How do you customize the stats? You guys know I haven't heard anyone talking about the stat customization at all. Chat will probably fill us in.
I think it's something like you literally just select it, but that was my impression. I didn't actually like really look, but that was like one comment I saw.
100 tombstones. There you go. Tombstones. It's just some tombstones to customize. There you go. And then you just select it. Yeah.
Cool.
All right. That's a relief. As far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, thank God.
Thank God for that.
The Eureka light grind. No, thank you.
Listen, I got rich off that. I got the hairstyle from Delibrum Normal last night. 16 mil.
Oh, is that the only place it's from?
Yes.
Or is it from? Really?
Yeah, last boss of Delibrum Normal can drop the Barding, which I didn't know existed because I just wasn't paying attention. Queen's Barding, the hairstyle, or Golden Gabriel Mark III.
Wow. So that's the only way to get that hairstyle?
Yep.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah.
You could be a toxic elitist with that hairstyle. You could just wear that. And
I don't even have the esthetician. I don't even have the esthetician unlocked.
Oh, that's ultimate toxic elitist.
Hence, selling it for 16 million gil.
Good
lord. And luckily, it's only from normal, not savage. Normal. Just to be clear.
Normal.
Normal, yeah.
This whole time I thought it was from savage.
No, savage, there's a minion, which is Save the Princess, which everybody gets, but you can sell it. And I'm going to wait for 3 years from now when nobody has it, and then I'm going to sell it.
Never mind then. My comment doesn't make sense anymore.
You can still be an elitist. You can just be an elitist with better hair.
Yeah.
That's all you need to do. Okay, so that covers the live letter for the most part, because if we have to talk about the rest, I'm going to lose my mind. If I have to talk about project management, and listen, the new Primals album, cool as hell. All right, looking forward to that new Primals album. They have 2 more renditions of Insatiable. I love it.
Yep.
I don't know why we have so many versions of that song, but I'm okay with it. All right. Itakuji has the Stein for pre-order, so I'm gonna do that.
Wait, can we just say one thing about project management, even though we don't want to really talk about
Sly, what the fuck do you want to talk about with project management?
Yeah. I mean, you may like really shit on it and meme on it and whatnot.
It's great.
No. It's great. It's great that like, because people always, again, the community always gets this like, where's all the time going to this and that and this, and we have this transparency, like of, hey, here's what we do, here's what I do, here's how depressing my life is because I do all this shit. But, you know, we have that level of transparency that not a lot of other games can say they have. So while you may shit on it, like, again, I thought it was really nice of them, even though, like,
you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, but it didn't work. Right? People are like, where does all the time go? Where does all these resources go? And then they're like, all right, here, we'll spend like an hour and a half laying it out for you. And then next minute, we've got, we're not getting Ultimate in 5.5 because they had to make Island Sanctuary. And obviously it's the same resources that they needed to pull away. So it doesn't fucking work.
It'll never work, but it is good that they talked about it.
I almost got through without us having to talk about that. I was on the cusp of getting us to the Endwalker section without having to talk about that.
Listen, you never intended to talk about it. Okay.
I did it for you. We don't have to say any more than that. Yeah. Like we're all on the same page with that, right? There's nothing to talk about.
Yes, I'm cool with not talking about that.
All right.
Now we have to talk about it, though. You brought it up. Shit. We can't not talk about it.
Ethys.
Good fucking job, Ethys.
All right, Ethys, you do the whole segment. Go.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
fine.
Your fault. You got the Band-Aid.
So we were going to be getting Ultimate in 5.5, and it's being delayed until 6.1, which is going to be, probably like January, February next year. Right?
A year from now.
A year from now. Yeah. Yeah, about a year from now. Yeah. And people got real mad. Because Yoshida, it said on the slide, like they needed to prioritize other aspects of development. And again, people kind of read between the lines there and they start thinking, I mean, we've seen it so many times now, the whole hardcore versus casual dichotomy. But this idea that they're taking resources away from Ultimate to make content like Island Sanctuary is just
stupid.
I'm trying to like keep myself reserved here and like keep a lid on it.
It's fucking stupid.
Yes, they're working on Savage. They're working on Pandemonium. The team that has been working on Ultimate, that's been making this, has been had to like go and do Pandemonium so that we get the fucking expansion before the end of this year. And people that are saying like, oh, they should have delayed the expansion until Christmas so that the 1% of people that play Ultimate can get Ultimate a couple of months earlier are fucking morons. I'm sorry. This is so stupid and so asinine. And like, I'm not going to go on a rant. I know Mike kind of wanted to steer away from this, but
I'll be honest, we're all in joking. I actually just straight up forgot. I was going through their Twitter feed. Well, so
you seriously forgot?
Probably because I wanted to forget. But I was going through their social feed to like pick out the topics, and when it ended, I just said, "Okay, we're done."
Man, I thought you were steering like so hard away from that,
and then I played it off for comedic purposes, which you've now forced my hand with. Yeah,
I see.
So.
But yeah, that's where we're at. We're not going to be seeing Ultimate until 6.1. We're a lot of us are disappointed. Frosty was planning on, we were going to do like 7 days straight of 24-hour coverage of the Ultimate World Race, and I was going to be a big part of that, and it would have been really fun. And you know what? It is still going to be a lot of fun when we do it next year.
And the people who are most upset? Those fucking 20 listings of fucking sales on the goddamn Party Finder that still sit there every day. They were like, how am I going to pay my rent?
Yeah. How are they going to make money?
Yeah. But if there's going to be any takeaway,
people who are going to buy from them too. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. If there is going to be any takeaway from this, it's do not fall into the trap of thinking by any means that that the resources, the people are being taken off that to work on stuff like Island Sanctuary, because that is stupid. That is not how development works. So you're getting Pandemonium. That's what they're doing. And Pandemonium's going to be great. And we're like really excited for it.
Fingers crossed.
It's going to be great. I think it's going to be really good.
They very specifically stated the biggest problem was development feedback loop, because they needed to get all 8 people to test it, to take the feedback from their tests and go back. And there's only very few people who can actually provide feedback on that. And that's where the comment comes in. It's like it's very select people. This goes back to in 4.5 when we got Blue Mage instead of a third ultimate. It's the same thing. People said the same thing.
Yeah.
This one's kind of really unfortunate though, because it's a series of unfortunate event that yields in a decision that has to be made, because we could have had this in 5.3. We could have, but hardcore raiders, a bunch of hardcore raiders I know, myself included, said 0.5 would be better because it's great excitement to hold up until the expansion. It's one final big encounter. And I still firmly agree with that. I wouldn't go back and change that opinion. But that's the feedback they heard. That was a resounding amount of feedback that said if we can only have two, do one at 1.1, do one at 0.5. That feedback,
and they were committed to that.
Yep, and we couldn't.
They were committed to that before the pandemic began.
Yeah,
right.
They were fully committed to that. Before, like if that's just how it ended up. The dice rolled this way, and you got to accept it.
Yeah. And with them planning it that way, they were like, oh, that means in between we can fit making this 48-man Savage, right? So
exactly.
If they didn't do that 48-man Savage, they probably couldn't finish the Ultimate. But they were planning when they did the 48-man Savage that they could also still finish the Ultimate. Yeah. So
shit happens.
There's no way to have known this.
It's really it's tough. There's too many other things at play, and I think it's reasonable. I'm disappointed. Like, let's be real. I understand why it happened. Doesn't mean I can't be disappointed in it. But
yes,
as far as I'm concerned, that just means I'll sleep an extra week before 6.1. That's about how much it's impacted the grand scheme of my experience. And I have other things. I think, you know what? More time for me to work on this 3 million ocean fishing points. All right.
Disappointment is completely valid. I think anything past that is not.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I saw people saying like you can only use COVID as an excuse for so long.
Yeah, I agree.
I went like
you can
while it's a problem.
Exactly. Yes, you can only use it for so long, and that length is while we're in the middle of the fucking pandemic, right? You can use it for that whole time.
Right.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't understand that they could have been on track until super recently they could have been on track. And then somebody that was in that development team working on that specifically, or, needing to do the testing or whatever, somebody there got sick or family members got sick or something. And that just completely shattered everything, completely shattered the timeline. So they could have been on track. Like, that was the other thing I saw is people saying they should have told us earlier. And they probably did.
You know what?
They probably didn't.
The irony of that? We found out the patch date earlier than ever before. Thus, we found out it was delayed earlier than ever before.
There you go.
God damn it. I can't believe we... Yeah. Oh, I can't... It's the worst aged tweet of all time. Spia and I...
Yeah.
God damn.
They're being as transparent as they can, and they're being transparent in a time period where a lot of developers and publishers are finding it really hard to be transparent. And it's disappointing, but like shit, you've got to respect them for doing their best and doing their best to keep us in the loop.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day,
and I think a lot of people also forget just the general culture in Japan. Him going like Yoshi P going on this live stream and bowing to everybody, saying that he's sorry that he couldn't do this, is like him taking a sword through his chest. Like he does not want to have to do that, right?
Yeah.
Like this hurt to do. So
right,
come on.
Yeah, you don't see anyone else in the industry doing that realistically.
Nope.
Now I will say this: there is a flip side to this that's still in a different realm, because okay, we got one ultimate this expansion because we had a pandemic. Okay, fine. What I can tell you will not happen is we will not have 3 ultimates and 6.x to make up for it. I can almost assure you at most it's still 2. Because I've seen some people now saying, well, that means that we have to get 1 in 6.3 and 6.5.
I think that's setting yourself up to be disappointed.
I would love that, but no.
Expect 2. I think 2 is 2 is realistic.
Yeah. That being said, it's Dragon Song War. So if you have that as your prediction,
that'd be great. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Freaking awesome.
There you go. I'm looking forward to it, and I'll see it in 12 months.
What do you think that is? Thordan, Nidhogg?
I think it's going to start with Ascian Prime, go into Thordan, go into Nidhogg, and then it's going to be like how he goes Nid-Stinian mode, but it's going to be that, but it's going to be like Thordan as a Dragon Knight with all the Heavens Ward as Dragon Knights.
Ooh. Trying to find the quote here. I don't think I wrote it down, but Koji was basically saying it's going to be like a reimagining. It's going to be a what if scenario.
Yes, he did say that.
For me, there's like a lot of things that could be, but at the top of the list is like, we're in Azazlar with Thordan. Thordan was there because he wanted to use Ascalon to absorb the Warring Triad. And we stopped him from being able to do that. And the big what if is like, well, what if we didn't, right? What happens then? So having but then again, you've got like, we want Thordan and Nidhogg Astinian, and then the Warring Triad? I don't know.
Yeah, that's why I'm leaving the Triad out of this entirely, because I just imagine like us beating Nidhogg and somehow Ascalon just shoots out of his fucking eye, and then it's just that
would be pretty dope.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's exciting.
Yeah. So that's
Harchefant's gonna show up.
Oh, I actually do. I 100% expect. So you know how we have the Phoenix buff in Ukon?
Yeah,
I fully expect Iceheart and Harchefant to 100%.
He's gonna guard us against He's going to guard us against Deferent. Yeah.
I 100% expect Harchefant and Iceheart, the specters that we see.
We're going to have to watch them both die again.
No, it's going to be like the scene in 3.3 where they show up.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
He's going to Harchefant's going to Passage of Arms. That's going to be it. Unless suddenly they corrupt Harchefant and Iceheart, and now we've got Thordan, Nidhogg, Harchefant, Shiva.
No.
Problem going on here. That can be fun.
Do we think Grace Velger's going to play any part in this too?
Who?
I'd be into that.
Grace Velger.
Yeah, I think Grace Velger will play a part. I do. It's Dragon Song War. Everyone who was a part of that whole, saga is up for participation awards here.
There's going to be a what do you call them? The time things.
The time things.
Help me out. Yeah, I'm having
Alexander.
I'm drawing a complete blank where you need to mash your space button.
ATEs?
Yeah, the ATEs. Thank you. Active time events.
Okay.
Yes, we're going to have one of those where we just have to like yummy down on Ratatoska's eyes as quickly as possible.
Yummy down.
I didn't even think about Ratatoska.
Yummy down.
Yeah, because we never have a physical model for Ratatoska. We only have scriptures for it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Tiamat will show up and finally be free.
Tiamat doesn't want to be free. Stop. She doesn't want. She might not have a choice soon, but she doesn't want it.
Yeah, I think Tiamat better show up come in 6.0 stuff.
I'm waiting for Fordola to finally come back. And that is a perfect segue because... No, I mean, like, not in the level 80 summoner quest. Not in the level 80 summoner quest. She's got to be more important than that at some point, okay?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the trailer. Let's talk about the trailer.
So now that we've covered the live letter and all the project management that we could ever have needed, we have the announcement stream that came several hours beforehand. The trailer releases, we get a peek at the new theme, very Soken, much like the Shadowbringers trailer. The OST here is very, very Soken. And we just get a little glimpse into what Endwalker is. We're going to the moon. I'll never let Ethys live it down. I'll have so many gravity-related jokes, you won't be able to stand still.
That was one right there.
It was close.
It was close.
It was like gravity adjacent.
Yeah, it's gravity adjacent. Yeah, that's it. That's fine.
We were talking about our speculations, like a lot. Larry, I know you're a little bit of a closet lore boy, so I want to hear like what's going through your head at the moment, like what you're kind of thinking watching the trailer.
The Elegants were a spacefaring civilization, and we're gonna use one of their starships to go to the moon.
Okay, so you're looking at the logo, and you're seeing one of the Ragnarok ships there, right?
That's exactly the name.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I think there's actually one somewhere.
It's in the third coil. We go through the Ragnarok in third coil.
There's a bunch of them.
Yeah.
All the coils.
We specifically go throughout the Ragnarok in third coil. It's different areas of it.
Yeah, so
third coil relevant finally.
And on the moon, on the other side of the moon, is a hole in it because that's where Zodiac shot a big laser beam out of. And then the Alligans built a city on the moon, and the Alligans are there. Still.
Okay, so I'm seeing like two different approaches to what appears to be the Ragnarok ship. One is that we're restoring one to get to the moon, and the other is that there was one like up there when the fourth Umbral Calamity went down, and that the Alligans got stranded on the moon. And I'm hearing you say, "Por qué no los dos?"
What does that mean?
Why not both?
Exactly. Yes.
Okay,
they're definitely there.
I'm into it. Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah, dude. What about the rest of you? Have your thoughts like matured at all in the last couple of days? About any of the trailer, not just the Ragnarok.
Who, me?
Either of you. Both of you. Yeah. Ideally.
I'm more confident in my scythe prediction that Xenos is a scythe on the throne than I was when we spotted the potential scythe on the throne that we found the first time. That was because during the live letter he wore another shirt that's a Reaper with a scythe more directly. The first one it was like a Reaper looking guy. There was draws to like the director of a film being named Julian Temple, potentially Templar. I saw some people go the extra mile. Dark Templars had sides in StarCraft, and I'm like, all right, now it's going.
They do. That's actually very true. Dark Templars did have scythes. Wow.
Yeah, so I've seen my life for ire a few times since Friday. So, and then of course the other one being, people are starting to throw the name Reaper around.
And Dark Templars say, "From the shadows I come."
Yeah. I didn't remember that line. He remembers that line. I did not remember that line.
I was a Protoss main.
Yeah.
Because they shot laser beams.
All right.
From the moon.
Let's talk about the scythe then. Do we think it's necromancer? Do we think it's a pet job?
I know. I still am not in the necromancer. I don't think it's going to be anything we can name.
Okay.
It's necromancer.
No. All right. Follow-up question. Do you think it's going to be like Gukumats? Do you think it's going to be so to be more specific? Do you think it's going to be channeling Ranjit? Ranjit, we know he's got like his wyvern pet, and a lot of people think that that's kind of like a Beastmaster thing. What it actually is it's like some kind of blood eggy. He's like formed an arcane entity out of his own blood, and he can like project it outwards into this pet, or he can like meld with it into that scythe wielding form that we see Ranjit like fight us with. And I don't see this being a pet job because I don't think that's Xenos' style. But I do definitely see it borrowing like a lot of the style and animations from Ranjit's like scythe wielding form, if you will.
Yeah. Because again, like you said, it draws from blood and it draws a lot from Gukumats. Xenos wouldn't have a Gukumats. It wouldn't have anything like, unless
I don't think so.
So y'all are thinking about Ranji. I'm ignoring him. Other than maybe some animations, I'm actually just outright ignoring him.
I agree.
I had to think of it more methodically because Sage, first of all, even if you guess Sage, you didn't guess the weapon, which is the big reason why me guessing the weapon doesn't make me think I know the other one around. I refuse. I could have never gotten both pieces of that puzzle right. I don't think they want people to get both pieces of this puzzle right. Sage is from Sharlayan. So my first thought is, where would this come from? Because one would think it's Thavnair, because it's one of the other places we're going. But more than likely, it's something like Gunbreaker, where it's a place we hadn't been to yet. We technically have at this point now that we've been to Bosnia. But at the time, it was an area that was still unvisited by us. Dancer, too. Dancer didn't come from any location we had been to yet at the time. It came to us. So I have to think of other regions of the world and the lore that could offer that. And I got nothing, man.
Well, Xenos is in these towers, right? So if these towers are Maki or whatever they are, let's just say they're Maki, just so I have a name. Maybe the job is from Maki or whatever.
It'd have to be an ancient, like, lost art from that era.
Yeah. Like he went in there, he saw this weapon, he saw this scythe or whatever it is, and he's just like, I'm gonna make that a job.
That was how it went. That's how the monologue went.
The thing about Mark is that they were using Void Scent, obviously summoning Void Scent, but it was predicated on their ability to like destroy these Void Scent if they weren't like playing nice.
That didn't work so well with the Void Arc.
No, it didn't. But having a job that was like dedicated to hunting and killing Void Scent with a scythe, like I could see that being a Mark thing for sure.
Yeah.
I actually think it comes from Mericidia. I think Thavnair being the connecting town between, like you brought up last time, I think this is Mericidian in origin.
Big fan.
Yeah, I can believe
fan
that
of that.
Well.
It just makes it's literally a land that's completely, it's still obliterated from however long ago. It's considered a barely survivable environment, and there's very few who actually live there, but there are civilizations there that have
y'all did say the same thing. To be fair, y'all did say the same thing about Doma.
No, but Doma, they literally said razed to the ground. Mericidia, at least Eorzean scholars say that it's nigh uninhabitable, but that there are civilizations who are there.
Okay, so the Encyclopedia Volume 1 says that there are large areas of it that are still uninhabitable to this day. Yes. And there is like a large, like to the north, in the northern part of it, there is like a large sort of state that basically, fires on anyone that comes anywhere near, except for Thavnairian traders, as we've talked about. Like Thavnair is the only state that actually has any diplomatic relationship with Mericidia. And yeah, it would make sense to like kind of make that connection. For me though, I don't think this, what are we going to call it? Just like working title, Reaper?
That's what everyone else is. It's too demonic for me. I'm not buying it.
Perhaps, but I like the idea of it not necessarily having to be tied to a state or a geographic location. I quite like the idea of it. Like Dark Knight, but more like less attached to a state. We know in central Ilzabad, particularly around Landis, there's actually a tribe of nomadic Ellentill that have a lot of secret arcane knowledge and stuff. And I like the idea of kind of like how we've got the Oni Shishu being this kind of like weeaboo Sharlians that are not attached to any one place. The idea of having like wandering like Reapers that are going around and like taking out Void Scent or dealing with like particular threats or whatever seems quite compelling to me. But pure speculation. Obviously, we can't really say anything. It could, yeah, absolutely. It could.
It could come from the moon. Yeah, I don't think we can. I'm not confident predicting a name. That's the big thing. I've never felt so unconfident, but Sage really, really hit me in the gut when it came to predictions. No one saw Fin Funnels coming. Nobody saw that coming. Sly was really happy to see it, but nobody saw it coming. Unless Sly predicted G Warrior as a job, which I don't think was the case. I know some people did. I know some people really did think. They're like, G Warrior's the new job. That's it. They'll just get actually no. It was machinist level 90 skill is going to be getting in the G Warrior. That's what it was.
Yeah,
that's the one I've seen the most.
I would love that.
Yeah,
G Warrior trance.
With the new job, you also got to take into account the fact that Xenos is going to be it. So like, you got to think of how would he have learned about it, or how would he have become it. So he's like, I got to get a new weapon.
When it comes to that, I never really think about them being jobs so much as them just picking up the Scions are the best example of it.
Right.
So a great example. Actually, a non-Scion, Lena, is a great example. She is a dancer, but she's not a dancer. She just wields chakrams. That's how I always look at it. Yeah. So I feel like with Xenos, it's going to be largely the same thing. I don't think he really. But then again, with Samurai, he really did take the art of what he picked up seriously.
Yeah, he's a weeb. So like, he's gonna see this scythe, and he's gonna be like, "Ooh, I saw this in an anime once. I really like this kind of thing." So I'm just gonna bet that it's gonna be something to do with the towers. Like whatever the towers are, let's say they're Maki. I think it's a Maki job. It could be whatever civilization is.
What anime were they watching in Garlemald?
Watching Garlemald? Oh, Soul Eater. Soul Eater has a scythe. Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, he's been playing a bunch of Soul Calibur.
Yeah, that too. Yes.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Why?
And then over in Charlian, they were watching Gundam.
Yeah.
They were like,
that was the obvious one, yeah.
They were like, ooh, funnels. Oh, those are, every time a Gundam gets funnels, they're really OP. So if we want to have an OP healer, we just give them some funnels.
What are you gonna say next? That back in the Allagan Empire, they went to the moon because of like, I don't know. Give me an anime with a moon.
Gurren Lagann, because in the moon is actually a giant mech.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
I had to complete it. I had to.
Thank you.
That's good, Larry. That's the next video. It's every city state's favorite anime. There you go.
Oh,
don't
thank
give
you.
him ideas.
What do you mean? I love it when Larry makes videos.
That's a gimme.
That's a great
That's
idea.
a gimme. There
Perfect.
we go. Perfect.
I also had one idea about Sage. You know how, because I was talking to my friend about how going Scholar versus Sage, how he liked how with Scholar the fairy can heal for like a lot of stuff and you can kind of just DPS, right? So I was thinking, what if the funnels start randomly healing people? You have 4 of them, so they just start randomly healing people for like 25% of an Eos heal, but they target 4 people at the same time. What do you think of that?
I think it won't matter because I'm just going to be pressing the DPS button the whole time anyway.
Okay, cool.
What is the glare equivalent, and how many times will I press it? That's what I want.
Oh, they showed it to you. They showed it.
Yeah,
already.
they did. I just need to know the name at this point.
Yeah, the 2 DPS abilities we get.
I think
thought we might go in the opposite direction.
Funnels.
Yeah?
You think they'll literally call it that?
Yeah,
Funnels?
just fin funnels. Yeah, just fin funnels as the attack.
That was my favorite part of the presentation. They were like, "Yeah, people are saying we took this from like an anime." No, this is completely original. I don't know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And then he actually says Gundam.
Yeah, he said Gundam specifically. I was so happy.
Yeah.
So I was kind of thinking that it might even go the opposite direction. Like, you know, when you're Scholar, you just kind of let your fairy do most of the healing while you're DPSing. Maybe you just let the funnels do most of the DPS while you're healing. You know, maybe this is a solution for healers that are like, I just want to heal and not have to worry about DPS.
But if we're healing, we can't hold a beam saber, or we can't hold a beam rifle.
That's
So
That's true.
What?
Yeah. I mean, I don't want that, but I'm just that's kind of like my first reaction when I saw it. But perhaps that would be what's going on.
Yeah, sounds like shit.
Yeah, I hear that.
like,
what if it's? Go ahead. I was just gonna say, do we have room in this game for a healer that puts a buff on people and then the damage that you deal is a heal?
Oh, we already know.
Nascent is the closest thing you have to that with Warrior.
So we do have room in this game to do that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, we have room to do whatever we want, I suppose, but yeah, it's up to them.
Well, I mean, like, what works with, like, our mechanics, because in general, like, certain things just wouldn't work, you know? So.
True.
But I think that could work, like, if you put, like, a timed buff on somebody, and then whatever damage you deal during that little duration could be a heal. I think something like that.
I would expect something like a TBN, but when the shield breaks, they just get health back.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be good. That'd be good.
Yeah. But it's from a healer, so it's busted as fuck.
Yeah.
But can we go ahead and talk about the buzzword that I fucking hate in regards to Sage, which is balance, and how God damn it, I hate that fucking word. How, yes, there will, since we are getting a barrier healer, there will have to be adjustments made. And one of the things we're looking at is Astro. because you couldn't drive that job any more into the ground than you already have. So now that we're getting a barrier healer, something's got to give. And we're like a lot of people are, even we said, we're probably losing a sect. We're probably losing a Nocturnal sect.
I think it just becomes a cooldown, to be honest. I think they keep it. I think Nocturnal. I think the sects are enough part of the lore that they can't just be rid of them.
You think?
Yeah, I just think Nocturnal ends up being a cooldown, or they like integrate it into like, or they make it at least a buff that's on like you know how Benison is a shield. Obviously, they have Celestial Intersection, so the name of the shield becomes like Nocturnal whatever or some shit like that. You know. I think it still survives in it's you know what, it survives in the same form like Sword Oath survived. It's the name of the buff for Atonement. So I think that at that level it survives. But yeah, I mean they implied as much. They said outright it's going to be alongside like a white mage. It's going to fall in that category. I don't think they need to. I think the card system stays. I think that's fine. But honestly, I don't think the healing has to change that much either. I just don't think I don't think these are that a card system needs to be fundamentally changed because it's being a pure healer. That's the big thing I think that doesn't need to change. And I think it's just like playing Diurnal. They'll give it some new skills and maybe like a shield here or there like Benison, but I don't think it's as systematic, like it's as wide a scope of change, or it doesn't need to be as some people seem to think. My opinion.
I don't think it does either. I'm just afraid it will. Like, I'm just afraid of, because again, like with a new job, there's always a period where we fucking complain. Like it's the first few weeks of the job where we fucking complain and we talk about shit the job is, like Astro, and then it got better. Sage is gonna run through the same thing. Give it, like I said, 2 weeks. 2 weeks. We think it's pretty on the outside, and fucking fin funnels. But we're gonna shit all over that thing, and adjustments will need to be made. Not only to Sage, I think
to Summoner.
Relax,
devil. I hear what you're saying, but we get that like towards literally every job at the start of every expansion.
It happens to new jobs.
I mean, and sometimes they make adjustments and it completely fucks the job up. Like Gunbreaker, when they changed the sound, it was ruined. The whole job was ruined as soon as they changed the sound.
God damn it.
Yeah, you're changing aesthetics.
Like it sounded great, and then it sounded like cardboard. And we don't know why they changed that, but they ruined it. So I'm just saying, not all change is good.
Exactly. Again, like they're like, I think with the needed changes, quote unquote, the anticipated changes, I'll say, to Sage, it's gonna drive. I wouldn't say healing in general because fucking Scholar's already fucking done. Who gives a shit about that? It's gonna drive healing in general to the ground.
Yeah. So
especially Astro.
So one thing we've seen with new jobs, going back to the tanks on a more serious note. When Dark Knight first came out, number one complaint, what was it? Too squishy.
Oh yeah, when Dark Knight.
Was it?
Yeah, Gunbreaker. Yeah. What was the number one complaint when it came out?
Pretty much the same thing.
Pretty much same thing. You know what the complaint's going to be about Sage? Even if it's perfectly fine, they suck. Because because people are going to see fin funnels having never healed before, and people are going to die.
I don't even think that's going to be the fucking issue, though. Like, I just think, I honestly am kind of optimistic about it, besides the fact that it looks like a fucking Gundam. I am optimistic about it. But my complaint is that it's just going to affect everything else, and I don't like that.
Well, you mean like affect everything else in the way that they had to make room for it to fit in there, and the dichotomy, like they have to like commit to being too like pure, too shield?
Right. They even made the dichotomy for it. Like you said, they even made like barrier healer, shield healer, or whatever you want to call it, and then pure healers. So like to make room for it, like changes have to be made across the board. They can't just change one job. I mean, hell, like I feel like White Mage is gonna, I mean, White Mage isn't really going to suffer much because it's just a pure healer. What the fuck are they going to do? Astro, where you kind of had a barrier, now you're just like you have heals, and you have a balance, and it could have been better, but it took away your cards. But I'm not going to get into that.
They made them more. They actually gave people what they wanted, the balance.
No, they gave them what you wanted, Mike.
They gave them what everyone wanted. We had this discussion on Friday, Sly. When you get attack speed, you're like, that's great, but when's balance? You get the bowl, and you're like, cool, I take less damage, but when's balance? That's just a fact.
We're not getting into that again, but yeah, like you said, yeah.
The big thing here is not so much that the pure and shield healer thing. It's always existed. Astro was created on the precedent that they couldn't survive without one or the other, so they needed to have sects. The difference is they're now saying it's the core of the design, whereas before they said they didn't want to do a fourth healer because they needed to escape it somehow. I still have that interview. And so, but now they've said, no, you know what? We will always need someone preventing damage. You will always need someone who can heal it better. Those are just the core fundamentals of what needs to happen. So let's not focus on that. Let's just say that we're going to have those kinds of things and that you'll be more proficient in one or the other, and focus on how they play. So they'll double down on that identity more so than they ever did to make it so they don't have to make every healer afterwards have a sect. Because that's essentially what it would have boiled down to. They would have, if Sage wasn't one or the other, they would have just been like, well, you have, shield funnel and heal funnel. Yeah. And that would have been it. It would have been the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be about how power is accessed, which has been their, gameplay motif for the last several years. So, not too surprising. One interesting thing that we learned from an interview is why they chose a melee DPS. Apparently, they looked at Dragoon and said, that's the obvious place we need to slot something in. It is the maiming gear set. Well, we were focused on how long it's been since we've had a caster or a melee. They said, how long has it been since we've had a maiming job?
Never
Since the introduction of the game. So it looks like whatever job we get will likely share maiming gear.
Which makes it even more desirable. Yep, even more desirable.
God.
Will it die as much, though?
Jesus.
Yeah.
No, that'll make it even more desirable.
Go to hell.
I mean, the answer,
I love Dragoon.
To be fair, the answer is yes, it will die, because all the new people are going to pick it up and just die on it while they're learning. So the answer is actually yes, to be fair.
First few months.
Yeah, so not even wrong, but,
Just gets the best gear set in the game. It's going to get a scythe. Everybody's going to play that job. Everybody.
And there's going to be a lot of people dead.
Yeah.
The good news is they'll make them forget about Dragoon. I mean, the dying
is y'all can't get fucking new material.
No, we can.
God.
There'll be some who survive. Well, that's a poor choice of words. But...
God. Depends if it jumps or not.
Yeah, if this job jumps, then it's really fucked. That's that much we can say with certainty. Yeah, but it's very likely to be a maiming job. That was a big takeaway that we got from that interview. So now that we're done talking about the trailer, because that's essentially, I mean, we kind of lumped in the Sage announcement and because we literally were talking about seeing a scythe in the trailer, and that has been our conversation ever since.
Yeah.
One of the more interesting things about Endwalker, amongst all the other details, which we'll get into very shortly, is that they're actually going to be finishing the main scenario in 6.0. It is not going to be a 6.0 build up to 6.3 build up to expansion kind of deal. It is, this ends in 6.0, and then it's almost like a Realm Reborn. 2.1 through 2.5 was all spent setting foundation. That's what 6.1 to 6.5 is going to be doing.
Very cool.
I don't know about you. That makes me more excited specifically for the release of Endwalker and less so because it's not like, okay, well, I'm going to finish the story, but, it's just, that's it. where it's final in a sense.
Yeah, it's going to be
excited, but
intense.
Yeah.
I'm excited, but kind of sad in a way, because like, how do we really complete the whole Zodiark versus Hydaelyn thing in one fell swoop? Whereas we've been building up to this for so long, and like you would think with something this epic and with a lot of build up, you would stick this into, I don't know, your 8-man savage or whatnot, or your raid. No, it's just MSQ.
Well, obviously Pandemonium is going to be like building onto it. Like we're wrapping it up for the MSQ in 6.0.
Right.
And then we're moving on to the next thing. But Pandemonium, we got La Habrea's face,
He's not La Habrea to me anymore.
Okay. What is
Who
he?
Is it?
He's Mateus.
La Habrea?
Mateus.
Okay, he's
Mateus.
Mateus. Whatever.
And then there will be Satan somewhere in there. I don't know. Like, I don't know where. But
this story arc is going to continue to resonate through the game and through other pieces of content. It's just that the MSQ is not going to be primarily concerned with it anymore. It's going to be moving on to something else. But Pandemonium, I'm absolutely certain Pandemonium is going to have a really, really strong connection to the 6.0 MSQ in the same way that Eden did to Shadowbringers.
I kind of feel like they're leaving, like they're not leaving a lot of loose ends to tie, because we still have other loose ends besides Zodiark and Hydaelyn to tie, like Azdaja and Vritra and like
all of Mericidia, the New World,
all of Mericidia.
Yeah, but none of that is part of the Hydaelyn Zodiark story.
No, it's not.
Like Vritra and Azdaja have got nothing to do with Hydaelyn Zodiark and the Ascians.
He's just saying he doesn't think they're going to linger on details from that for stuff like too much with the other raid content and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Because how can you say you're done with it and then linger a whole expansion on wrapping up, tiny little things about it? Like it's not gonna. It may if it's too closely associated with that, not more closely associated with his character and his goals, then it's gonna just keep retreading old ground, which I think we kind of want to move away from at the end of 6.0.
Like, hey, La Habrea had a piece of this pie. Like, are we gonna tie this?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Let's talk about Pandemonium for a moment.
Okay.
La Habrea designed Zodiark, right? He made the blueprint. When they were like, hey, we need to create this entity that rewrites the laws of existence, La Habrea was like, well, I'm going to write down those laws and I'm going to like design this new reality, basically whatever comes after. Pandemonium's hell.
Yeah.
La Habrea is, according to Emmett Selk, La Habrea is a freaking psychopath.
Yep.
Like,
well, we picked up on that. We don't need him to tell us.
Yeah, but I mean, even according to his compeers, they're like, yeah, this guy's like not
fucking nuts.
Yeah. So I would like you guys to entertain the possibility that La Habrea is like, I'm going to create a new reality, a new order of the world, and it's going to have hell in it, and that's going to be my space. That's going to be my little zone.
He does like fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I really like the idea of Pandemonium being a sort of like a Dante's Inferno of us going through the layers of hell that La Habrea created.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for it.
I think it tracks. And of course we got to get the redeeming arc for La Habrea, because we did for Emmett and Elidibus. So no,
and almost one for Artemis. Artemis tried to get one a little bit.
I think we'll get some La Habrea story that'll make us cry for La Habrea.
For most
nobody likes wet bread.
We haven't. Yeah, for most of the Ascians, we haven't gotten like a redemption arc for a lot of them.
Yeah, but these are the important ones. He's important.
I think that's why La Habrea is going to be interesting, is because we're going to subvert that, right? Is like the Ascians have gone from being these, nefarious, impossible to understand, monsters, to being like, exactly. And I think it would be so cool if when we come to really examining Laha Brea's character, we realize that unlike Ellentill and Emet-Selch, this guy was just, he was just a psychopath. Right. I think that would be really cool.
He liked fire.
Yeah.
He liked making things made out of fire because he made Phoenix. He made what else? Ifrit, right? So Ifrita. So he's like, I'm going to make a whole world of fire.
He made weapons. That was like his job in the convocation, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's going to have some waiting for us. That's for certain.
Yeah. There'll be some cool weapons in there.
I expect there's definitely going to be some references to. And one of the big things is Laha Brea got. Okay, let me back up. When Emmet, we found out Emmet and Ellentill, we were going to have to deal with them, right? Our chief concern was, man, Laha Brea was just so fucking comic book, like textbook villain. And then they gave us Emmet and Ellentill, and there were layers to them. Laha Brea never got the treatment. So this is essentially his getting layers to his character. At least we'd assume if he does actually end up playing it, it's not just the artwork is alluding to some influence that he had when he was alive, yada, 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 you know?
I don't think he's coming back. I think it's going to be like post-mortem stuff.
Yeah.
I think so too.
So that's the big thing, because it's the ties, the whole Laha Brea being the scion of life for Mateus thing just completely went over my head until that happened. And we fought Mateus technically, but that doesn't matter all too much. So
I also think it's possible that we'll find Zodiac in Pandemonium. I can conceive of a scenario where the 6.0 MSQ wraps up, where we're like, okay, the Asians are all gone, we've averted the apocalypse. Heidel and Zodiac, they're still there, but they're not a problem anymore. Like, there's no one like at the heart of them. They're just dormant, and it's fine. We can just leave it be. But if we don't want to leave it be, if we're concerned about someone coming along at some point and, making waves with that, then we've got Pandemonium, where we really go and actually destroy it.
Yeah. And I noticed that the M in Pandemonium looks a lot like the fish form of Zodiac from Final Fantasy 12. So, that I couldn't help but notice that. So, okay. So that's, Pandemonium. Unfortunately, we don't know what the 24-man theme is going to be, but we do know it's not a collaboration. It's an original story being told in Final Fantasy XIV. Yeah, in Eorzea.
In Eorzea.
And it will answer, yes. You probably have the exact quote. I've
got the exact quote. Yeah. He said it will be answering an Eorzean, a piece of Eorzean lore steeped in mystery. So it's something that we have been wondering about for a while. And what that could be, I mean, there's a few.
There's a ton of things.
My first thought was Silver Tier.
Yep. That's what a lot of people are kind of.
I couldn't think of anything else.
That is a big one. That's one that a lot of people want. There's a lot of things that are mysteries to a lot of people that we do already have answers to. Another big one is that we've had since 1.0 is when guys first invaded Eorzea, there was a primal summoning that halted the Empire's advance and basically pushed them back and forced them to kind of retreat. We have no idea what that primal was. We don't know anything about that. It might have been connected with Silver Tier as well, but I want Silver Tier. I want to really get back to that, and that will kind of wrap up the final sort of lingering threads of 1.0. Like I say, just because 6.0 MSQ the arc is done, we're moving on to something else in the MSQ, doesn't mean that in the 8-man, the 24-man, and other bits of side content we can deal with the rest of those threads.
Yeah, chat brought up one I'm keeping my eye on, and it's the ruins underneath the Dravanian Forelands. There is a giant ass door under the mountain that we really thought was going to get used for something, and it never did. And it just kind of chills. We don't know if those are just old ruins or if there's something deeper going on underneath the mountain there in Samal. We do kind of know a little bit. We know there's a giant flame scorpion, but that's about it. So we'll see.
We'll see. We'll see.
Bunch of little details, things like, the level cap going up. Obviously, the stat squish is a huge topic, but I feel like there's been so much misunderstanding about it that diving into it any deeper doesn't really blend to that. Hilarious that belts are being removed. At least the way it was announced, they're hold on. Belts. And Nomura collectively went, no.
Oh no.
Oh no. I only have zippers left now.
Yeah. Well, the Warrior of Light didn't get the memo though, because there's tons of belts on the Paladin AF gear. So
yeah,
that's a problem.
Yeah.
That's definitely a problem. We have other details that it's difficult to talk too much about the Matanga, for example, which Larry joined our voice comms and saw the Max Rebo like robot chicken post. Like, what the fuck is that? It was the first thing he saw. Max Rebo's greatest hits. There you go. So,
some insider info.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about it on Friday night, so to link it, but. Yeah, and obviously, more importantly, the Matanga are in Radzat-Han, which is they're specifically Thavnair, I guess I should say, which is going to be one of the new areas. Obviously, there's a lot to it.
A cantina.
Yeah, that's where the cantina is. It's in Radzat-Han. That's where we're going to see him performing his greatest hits. One of the Matanga. That's going to be the Matanga Beast Tribe quests. It's going to be like they're going to try to open their own cantina. That's it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. And then we need to find members of the band.
Palace.
I'm sorry, Jabba's Palace. You're right. But in here, they're not good enough to get into the palace yet. They're just getting started. We got to put the band together. They're going to start in the cantina.
Okay.
That's fine.
Man, when they revealed Radzat-Han, I already had PTSD about it because of from the freaking A Realm Reborn relic quest, needing to get that Radzat-Han oil for your relic. I was like, I already hate these people. I don't want to go there. These people suck.
Well, now in future, when you're doing like going back and doing ARR relics, you'll just be like, "Hey, BRB, I'm just gonna like teleport."
Yeah, I can just go over there. This isn't rare.
And then when you
drops from every enemy.
When you get there, Rowena is gonna be like, "That'll be 300 tomestones." Rowena is gonna be in Thavnair. It's not like she's not gonna have a fucking desk. She has to have a desk everywhere. That's her rule.
She'll be standing over Chalzan's corpse with an ice pick.
There you go.
Yeah.
Mary made a pretty interesting observation that we have giant skull weapons that come from a giant stone, and that stone in the back there is very likely the origin point of the giant skull weapons.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
That was a solid observation from him. Obviously, for trials, we have Anima. That's the only one that was revealed thus far. Larry, our current running theory is it's a Terminus beast. We don't know the significance of it. I don't know. I don't think so. You don't think so?
No, I think it. No? Anima is a mother, right? So we don't know. Hear me out. We don't know Xenos' mom. Actually, in that regard, we don't know who Emmett cornificated with. Who he had.
Wait. So you're saying that Xenos is Seymour?
No. I'm saying that whoever Emmett had sex with to have Solus is Anima. Something along those lines.
The recipient of the Asian coitus.
Yes.
That's what
turns
happens.
you into Anima.
As far as we know.
Yeah.
That's a hell of an STD right there.
Oh, come on, dude. Come on.
It's probably a Terminus beast.
Listen, I hate this because I'm trying to like think of how that would work in the lore, and we know that Asians are like very sort of astrally aspected beings, and when you're injected with a great deal of astral ether, you turn into something like a void sand. So this could
injected.
It could conceivably track.
Was interesting.
Okay, would you prefer I avoid the euphemisms and say inseminated? Would you prefer that?
Yes,
if we just
actually.
go with that?
You know what?
I would actually prefer that. Yes.
Okay, so
injection
when you're
sounds way too forceful.
Okay, fine. I'll be scientific about it. If you were inseminated with astrally aspected Asian jizz, there is a very good chance that you would physically transform into something akin to a void sense. It tracks. I hate it, but there you go.
I mean, we have precedent, sort of. At the very least, Emmett was able to make Vothriel of a light scent, to make him able to control all of them, to make him a sin eater.
Yeah.
So, the precedent's there, and I hate to say it.
Yeah. So
Hey, listen, this is Larry. I just walked through the door. Okay, he opened it for us.
Yeah, everyone thinks I corrupted Larry. Like, so when we were physically able to go to the media tour, we were having a conversation that was very inappropriate. That Sly decided to post social, and I got blamed for it. And I'm like, Larry started that conversation. This is bullshit. Why did I get blamed?
See, I just got Larry drunk. That was the only thing. That's the only thing I did.
So you're to blame as well.
Yeah, I got blamed. This is bullshit.
Listen,
I'm sorry.
Let's just agree that we're all terrible influences on each other, and this is just an awful toxic relationship we have here.
Awesome. What kind of chamber is this? We have the Echo hug chamber. What do we have now? Like the
Echo.
When you said Echo, I really thought you meant Echo Final Fan, and not like a normal Echo chamber. So I don't think I have a right to give us a name.
Wow.
I mean, it's an Asian circle jerk, like literally.
Yeah, that's fair.
So besides Anima, like we kind of got.
Wait, did you say Anima?
Yes, Anima, not Enema.
God,
sorry, it said Anima.
Jesus fucking Christ. So through these screenshots, we kind of got the idea that maybe Asura might be another one.
Everyone wanted Brynhildr to be Asura as well. That was a big thing. Yeah, so Asura is one, but the Mage's Sisters also came first and foremost in a lot of people's minds. Yeah.
And another screenshot. Yeah, you can see them clearly.
That was definitely
not really clearly, but yeah.
It looked like they were engraved in the side of one of the structures inside one of the dungeons.
That was in one of the towers for sure.
Yeah.
As for the Asura thing, that's definitely like a statue of Asura in the Thavnarian dungeon we see there, and I suspect that that's probably going to be something along the lines of, hey, final days are coming about. People are going to be praying to their various deities for salvation. And if we're fighting primals, it would be in that context. I think most of the bosses are going to be Terminus Beasts. I think the Terminus Beasts are going to be like our Light Wardens. And we're going to be going around the towers to sort of defeat them. But taking a bit of a sidebar to deal with, some Thavnarians summoning their primal, I think is definitely on the cards.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I'm still of the opinion if they were ever going to do roaming primals, this would be the time to do it. The Lunarian, the lunar primals. Yeah. So
yeah, absolutely.
I wonder. I do really wonder about that. If that's going to be something they finally decide to do. We've seen through Bazia and Shadowbringers in general the expansion of the fate system into other existences through skirmishes, critical engagements. Yeah. So imagining some sort of evolution of that. I think that if there was a time, I don't think any time after this. If this isn't roaming primals from 7 years ago, I don't think anything is.
Fair.
That's it.
Fair. Really fair.
Yeah. That was in the new dungeon screenshot. I also saw it looked to be like a train graveyard as well as that. Potentially the origin of the train that Ida and Ishtola ride in on to Castrum. What's the name of that Castrum?
Meridiana?
Yeah,
Castrum Sentry.
Sentry.
Right? Castrum Sentry.
Yeah. We know there's also going to be a new small scale PvP mode with a whole reworked reward structure.
I'm going to go pee.
VP. Oh, he was serious. Okay. I'm making sure. I thought it was like, I'm going to get away from this conversation entirely because it's about PvP. I literally couldn't tell if it was a bit or not. I had no idea if it was a bit. I might still be a bit. I don't know. He might be should be that committed. Was like, if I'm going to say I need to I'm going to go actually. I don't know.
To be fair, in the pre-show, Larry was talking about his little baby bladder. So.
He was. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. So the small scale PvP mode, we got a little bit more insight via interviews about that.
Yeah.
One of the more specific details is the potential closing of the ranked feast when they first introduce it to force people to try this out, which I don't think makes any sense whatsoever. I don't think there's any overlap between the two unless they plan on making this the new competitive mode. I don't see much a point, but they mentioned like taking enemy bases and stuff like that. Something that seemed more Alterac Valley-ish in the way that they almost described it.
They also said literally immersive and casual friendly.
They did say that. Which is why I don't think this would replace the competitive mode of the feast, nor does it have any overlap. Thus, it's a weird thing to even ponder.
Yeah.
Right.
No role restrictions.
Yep. They want everyone to be able to sustain themselves, too. They said healers are too strong, and they need to dial that back a little bit.
New reward systems beyond just gear.
Yeah.
Do you have any speculations, perhaps, about
minions?
That? About what?
Mounts?
Minions?
Yeah, like, what the fuck is it going to be? Like, there's only 3 things motivate people. Hair, mounts, and gear. That's it.
Right, but none of those are new reward systems.
That's why I don't get it. I literally don't get it. So was that a bit, Larry, or did you, like, was it half a bit, I couldn't tell. I was really confused by the whole thing.
No, I really did have to go pee, but, you know, PvP came up, so I was like, oh yeah, that's a good time.
Apparently you did the same thing in Mod Talk on Saturday. As soon as PvP came up, you just left?
Yeah.
Just wiped out my bladder. No time.
Well, you know what? The only other guest we have that has a bit for PvP smokes whenever we bring it up, so I think your bit. I think yours is the healthier bit.
To go pee?
Yeah.
Wait, who starts smoking when you start talking about PvP?
Mr. Byrne, he lights a cigarette. He has some great. I need to compile all of his when we start talking about PvP bits.
It's terrible.
Because the last time was amazing. You have no idea how good his last bit was on the PvP.
Oh, jeez.
It's so funny.
I saw that one. He said how he was like gonna start. He started playing it or something.
Yeah. And he spent like 5 minutes setting it up, and he's like, "Actually, I have something to show you." And then he lit a cigarette off camera, and then came back on. It's like, I never fucking PvP. Are you kidding me? It was so much commitment to the thing. I think, honestly, the only small-scale PvP mode I can think of that is immersive and probably casual-friendly is standing in front of the plaque in Ishgard housing and hoping you get it. That's it. That's all I can think of. And that is a very different reward structure, too. Because if you win, you get a house.
True.
It's true.
That's
the only fair way to do it.
It is the only fair way to do it, as far as I'm concerned. Which is why it works that way now. And no, not Blitzball. Anyway, moving on. And then...
Wait, so what did we say about PvP?
That is what we said about PvP.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, that was
That's
it?
what we said.
That was
Yeah.
we waited for you to come back, actually.
Oh, okay. Cool. Thank you.
We sat here in silence. It was really awkward.
Yeah, it won't go over well with the audio listeners, but that's fine.
You basically ruined the show.
Yeah, to say the least.
I apologize.
Right.
That's fine. It was ruined before you got here. Anyway. We can't get any questions right on air, Zivia. I talk too much. Whatever. It was ruined before you got here.
Hey, listen. I for one am really excited to see what the YouTube comments have to say about our anima theory.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're spot on. Really, I mean,
I think
I had already forgotten we had that conversation, and you just reminded me of it.
I don't like we. I don't like how you say we there, Larry.
You and him
we all collectively had a great conversation about anima and the fact that Emmett inseminated her.
There you go. There it is.
That's the one.
And so it's Solus's mother, Varys's mother.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, because Solus is Emmett. So
Solus is Emmett.
Yeah, that would be even weirder.
It would be very strange.
It would be much different conversation-wise. They felt the need to tell us Estinian is going to be a new Trust NPC. I didn't know why that needed to be such a huge announcement, but I guess with Reen gone, they're like, we guess we need to announce this, you know.
He's going to stand there on one knee, just holding up the dragon eye. And then when we go to pull another group, he'll just
he'll walk
come running up and then that's it. That's all he does.
Island Sanctuary. So I'm gonna give you guys some numbers here because I think you're gonna find this very interesting. So the very first tweet announcing Endwalker has 21.8 thousand likes. So we'll use that as the point. The
21,000. Holy crap!
Yeah, 21,000 hearts specifically. The Sage trailer and that post has 11.8K. And after that, it kind of trickles off. 7.5k for the reminder that it's the end of Hydaelyn Zodiark, 3.7k for the level cap increasing, 3.3k for new areas, 6k for Radzat Hand, 2.6k for Matanga, 9.3k for Anima. That shot up a lot of people's interest. I think we know why. Back down to 3k for new dungeons, 3.6k for Pandemonium, Estinian, 7k. So a lot more interest in Estinian than Pandemonium, dungeons, Matanga, new areas, level.
Well, yeah, he's hot.
True.
That's it.
Now the next one is Island Sanctuary at 7.8k.
There it is.
Yep, that's the next one down the line, and because the Island Sanctuary is basically them being like, stop asking us for housing. Here's a whole island. That's pretty much how I interpret it. You guys gonna be?
Do you think we're gonna have a little? Do you think we're gonna have a little house on that island?
Nope, but I think that's the closest you'll get.
Cool.
You don't think we'll get a house as part of it?
No.
Really?
But that's part of all of those, Harvest Moon and stuff. They got a little house.
Well, good thing you have an apartment then.
Where are we gonna sleep?
In your apartment when you teleport back to it.
Okay. So we have an island. That's our own island, yet we can't live on it. We just use it to farm, raise minions, whatever, and then we just teleport back to our. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that sounds strange.
Needs a building.
That sounds fucking terrible.
But the thing is, they've already said there's gardening there, and one of the biggest complaints about apartments is you can't do gardening.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's not going to be an apartment. It's going to be a little house.
You know how there's a little chocobo stand outside of the apartments? This is your little chocobo stand for gardening, except it's a whole island.
No.
I think it's got to have some kind of structure.
You guys are
Maybe
really
giving them. Put it like this. Put it like this. If you are a farmer, you are a farmer. Like it's a family-owned farm. Like it's your fucking farm. You're not going to live in your farm. That's true. But your house will be in spitting fucking. Yeah. Your house will be in spitting fucking distance.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's got to be a farmhouse.
Yeah, well, it will be. It will be because you can press one button to teleport to your apartment.
It's on the other side of the fucking planet. Yeah.
Right. I'm just. Right. It's like I'm just gonna drive to my farm. That at like 5 or 4 in the morning to.
Yeah, but if you could teleport to your farm, it wouldn't matter where you lived.
Well, then you don't need a house. Wait, that doesn't.
Well, you definitely still. No, Larry, you still definitely need a house.
Okay, the thing that really interests me, with this content is raising monsters, like raising creatures,
like a beast tamer.
Well, that's the thing. Is like I can't help but imagine this would have some synergy with Beastmaster, right? Is like, hey, if we get Beastmaster as a limited job, maybe this is where we keep our beasts. Maybe this is where they hang out. This is our little Pokemon ranch.
Oh, that would be.
I'm not gonna have Dawan on the island. I can promise you.
Why the hell not? Because I love the idea of being able to populate our island and have them actually be like mobs. And being able to like invite friends over to come and try and fight the fucking S rank that we've captured and keeping on our island.
I'm going to point out to you that in the picture, there are minions around them. The Paisa is throwing fruit, which is irresponsible but accurate, and they have a bluebird, a horse, and a chocobo. Yes. Those are not monsters. Those are animals that just live there.
Yeah, it's just the key artwork, all right? I'm talking about my wish list.
Did you see that somebody pointed out that there's a horse and a bird, and between them is a horse bird?
Oh my god.
They did a Venn diagram of it, and I loved it.
That's amazing.
I loved that when I saw that on Twitter. That was great. The Venn diagram.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't think they did that on purpose, but I approve.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Well, this is what I want. I want it to have some, like I say, some synergy with Beastmaster.
And
that'd be great.
I don't think it'll happen, but you can wish for whatever you want.
Yeah, I can. Can't I?
You can. So can everyone else.
Dickhead.
Even when they're wrong.
I would like it to have a little farmhouse.
So anyway.
There's a windmill in that image.
You don't live in a fucking windmill.
No.
Tell that to the people in fucking Baldur's Gate.
Tell them to stop living in windmills. Fair. They live there because they have nothing else. Well, to be fair, I guess that would be the case here too. I don't have a house in Ishgard. I gotta live in this goddamn windmill.
You know, the first thing I thought when I saw the windmill was, can we hire a truck to him? As like a farmhouse.
Dude, I already told you he's coming back in this expansion. I told you that.
Hell yeah, baby.
He's gonna see the star shower. Finally.
Oh my god, he is too. Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna see the star shower, but now he's gonna actually be like a hero, but everyone doesn't believe him. So it's like Boy Who Cried Wolf.
I want him to be our farmhand. I think that would be fantastic.
Yeah, you can.
He probably doesn't have a job right now.
No, he definitely doesn't
humiliated
have a
him
job
right now.
Yeah. We have the new residential district, which for likes has only 3,600. Because I think everyone else knows that there's that's like 10 times the amount of houses that'll be there. So there's not even a point in liking the post. We have the data center travel, which was a big thing. We know they've been working on this. So this wasn't so much a surprise for those who keep up to date with it. But they said there will be restrictions. We just don't know what yet. Like they know, but we don't know.
Do you think it's going to be cross-region or no?
Yes. So they said that. So they said that when you do this, you are essentially going to the main screen, changing your data center, and then logging in. So I think that the big thing is that the party finder isn't going to pull from every data center. You can just go to another server and use that party finder if you want to play with the people there. The question is about the limitations. They don't seem to have any fears about the market. They said that was largely unimpacted by the cross-server travel, and I agree. So what other limitations there could be, I'm not sure. Potentially you can only go to the main cities to use the party finder or the duty finder there, or housing areas and things like that, but they may want to cut people out of being able to do things like hunts or maps, but that's still largely a question mark.
Okay.
I think you'll be able to instance. I think it'll just be you, like, let's say I'm on Primal. When I'm on Primal, I can party finder and duty finder on Primal, but then when I go to Aether, then I can party finder and duty finder on Aether.
The only concern I have with that is that does present the possibility that everyone only congregates to one data center's party finder. That is the chief concern. Is that if you remember back when Gilgamesh, when we didn't have a cross-server party finder,
everybody went Gilgamesh.
Everyone went to Gilgamesh. Yeah. It's quite possible that if they allow this to happen, that it might be determined, well, if you want to raid, everyone has to go to Aether, for example. And then why even have the servers and the other? Like, anyone who's raiding is never going to be on their original servers. There is very much a reality in which you cannot use the party finder, and that is one of the restrictions. And that it might just be to actually go visit friends, go to the housing area, hang out in the city-state, whatever. We know there will be that they said there will be harsher limitations. That is a real thing.
Well, hold on, Happy. Hold on. I think if that's the case, it sorts itself out.
It does, but that's the thing a lot of people want it to be able to do, and it's something they may determine is too harmful for the game to actually allow it.
Because think about it. You have all these people congregating to one particular data center or server because of hive mentality that, it's better to get clears and raid on said data center and server. And because of that, the raid population kind of intermingles, and you kind of get general, PF parties. You'll basically start experience what real fucking PF is if you kind of intermingle, which is like, you don't know what the fuck you're going to get. Whereas Aether has kind of been, kind of stagnant and kind of static in what it has been.
Oh no.
So what's going to happen is the people will, congregate to Aether, congregate to Gilgamesh, and people will have that experience, and then they won't congregate to Aether or Gilgamesh anymore because
why would you want to?
The mass majority.
I agree with
that. That's what I'm thinking.
So So that's why I say it's gonna fucking sort itself out. Just give it time.
I agree. I think people will go to Aether and they'll be like, wait, hang on a second. These scrubs don't even use macros. Like, this is a shit show. Screw this.
And then we really got to start using macro. Dude, I'll never forget when we were in Emerald Weapon and someone posted a macro and the one of the tanks called the H1 spot, and I'm like, that's not what the macro.
That's not how that works.
That's actually not what the macro is for, pal. Please, you're the OT. You're the OT or ST spot. You do not call H1. That is not how that works.
I mean,
one.
Best case scenario, macros will become like more ubiquitous, right? As like people from other regions start to kind of flood into NA, that might actually take the freaking hint finally. But I don't think so.
I like that.
I don't think so.
Oh, I thought it was HT for head tank.
I'm the head.
I love
tank.
that. That's in my chat.
Oh man, you know it's good because it's got a kappa.
Oh my god, that's so good. That's so fucking good. I love it.
Oh shit!
For head tank. My god. All right.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
Now we mentioned earlier, patch 5.5 is going to be on April 13th. That is also when the PS5 beta is launching that same day. That was how we found out. Was the CEO came out and spoiled it or leaked it. That it would be the
totally
same day
not,
as 5.5.
Rehearsed or anything.
Yeah.
Yoshi P was very annoyed. Couldn't you tell?
Yeah.
Yeah. He leaked it and then he went and changed the slides for the live letter immediately after to also have it listed.
Yeah.
And had a trailer ready for it too.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
He edited that himself like 2 hours beforehand because he knew he had to be real sneaky about it.
Now the project manager did that.
Yeah. Man, I have to say, I was slightly disappointed. Okay. I like heard that as I was talking. And that computed. I was like, oh. I have to say, I was slightly disappointed by this because when he came out, I was like, oh, he's going to be dressed as a Beastmaster. Yeah.
What does that look like, Larry? What would he be wearing?
Some kind of furry shit. I don't know. I don't know. What would he be wearing?
A pelt, yeah. He'd be wearing a pelt of some kind. Although it's kind of fucked up if you're a beast master to just wear a beast at the same time. It's like this is what happens to you if you don't listen.
Yeah, and you have a whip too. It's kind of fucked up. Yeah. So I mean, it's cool that he revealed the PS5, but I was a little like debated-ish, I guess, of there being like, oh, the CEO is here. I'm like, oh, what kind of announcement is it going to be? But it was just PS5.
I thought he was going to come out with a gun again, just for no reason this time, though. Just because ever since he showed up for the machinist thing, he just had a gun. That was it. I'll never forget that. That's still the best one. Although the Blue Mage, him coming out dressed as the Blue Mage was pretty good. Azuro the First, as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have the Digital Fan Fest, which will be May 14th and 15th in the States. Over in Europe, it'll actually be the 15th and the 16th, which means it's going to be very early in the day. Because it is going to be like this Japan time. In essence, they're going to be starting early in the day in Japan like they did with this. And that means that in Europe, it'll probably start at like 1, 2 in the morning again. At least that's what my expectation would be. May 14th, 15th, around the time we're supposed to be getting part 2. They said it was late May for part 2 of the patch, so this should actually be a little bit beforehand. Which makes me wonder if the full trailer, because I don't remember. I don't remember if we got the full Shadowbringers trailer before at least seeing the trailer. Although, you know what?
It was in 3 parts. I know that.
Yeah, because remember, like that, the second part was when the map opened up, and then Sam, for Stormblood, the second part was in the map opened up, and then the Sam did some cool shit. That was it.
Yeah. But when it comes to Shadowbringers, I'm trying to think of the timing. I guess as long as we have it, because you'd imagine there's a live letter at this, like the 5 point, I don't know, something. Because this is after 5.5 releases, but before part 2 releases. So
we did absolutely we had the full Shadowbringers trailer before 4.55. I'm certain of that.
But we had the trailer for 4.5. Yeah, so I guess actually it'll be fine, because for the 5.5 trailer will probably have the things they want out of this trailer, if there is anything at all. So actually this still lines up. This still makes sense. We get the artwork, of course, of Hydaelyn and Zodiar. Although I guess I did skip over the Lunar Whale and the Final Fantasy IV minions. But what else is there to say?
Gamers.
How much do you think the Lunar Whale is going to cost, Larry? Eight-seater mount.
$35.
So, you know how many people I've seen predict 60? You know how many people I've seen predict $60?
No.
Look, the chat's doing it right now.
Yeah,
50.
I think it'll be at least 50.
50.
Listen, the four man's $35. Okay, they're paying by the seat.
Oh,
It's gonna be at least 50.
all right. Well, it's also including like a FanFest ticket, right? So
That's what I'm also
50.
thinking. They'll consider it like a digital FanFest ticket. Although I guess you'd have to consider the minions, well, at least one of the minions in that price range as well. I like what a FanFest ticket would cost. Yeah.
Okay, 50.
Right.
I'm not. I'll pay any amount. However,
Don't say that.
It's 50
Don't say that.
Don't say that.
within reason, within general reason.
If you said 50 is okay, then you're within reason isn't too much. It's still got room. So
50 is
wiggle room.
okay.
Listen, that mug is already $80. All right, I don't want to spread it too thin.
Wait, really?
Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
Stein.
Mhm.
How much are the scents so I can smell like Limsa Lominsa? How much are those?
Let me tell you.
Well, they're only on the Japan store, I think. So I'm
They
gonna have
sure
to.
are.
No,
But
no.
fortunately, Itaikuji specializes in
Mhm.
getting goods from
Oh, really?
limited time events. I pre-ordered the
Right.
Stein from them. Let's see. How much are the incense?
I'm gonna guess 35.
Probably not.
That's
too
my
far
magic
off.
number.
That's just your go-to.
I'm
huh?
gonna say 50. I'm gonna say 50.
Oh,
for
I don't know.
snow.
Maybe they don't have the incense. I'm actually looking at it, and I don't see the.
Oh,
incense.
no.
That might be one of the things they can't get. Yeah, I don't see
Oh
it.
no.
Yeah, I don't see the incense on here. That might be something they can't guarantee. That might be something they can't ship either.
Yeah, that would be difficult to ship.
It is a little weird.
Was Lim Solo meant to smell like fish and disappointment?
There's a nail clipper, a Final Fantasy 14 Square Enix nail clipper.
Seriously?
Yeah, I'm looking
Yeah,
at
there's a
it.
nail clipper. There's a Serpent of Ranka pencil case.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
cool stuff like that.
Yeah, there's there's a necklace. Oh, that's the 7 remake one. Some of the other stuff is intermingled in here. It's just all the like newest items that have been added. Not to mention the album,
Hey.
which I did pre-order.
While we're talking about merchandise, I stayed up for like 3 days straight to hear about Encyclopedia Eorzea Volume 3. And
That's your fault.
yeah,
Nothing.
speaking of debated, yeah. I mean, the Unending Journey, like, that looks pretty cool. Just to kind of clarify on what that is, it's literally just like copy and pasted all the lines of dialogue from the game.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's going to be a useful reference, but it's not going to be like the encyclopedia where you get like new information or new copy. It's all going to be like pre-existing copy, just in a cool kind of, I guess, like coffee table book.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably end up picking that up just as like a handy reference thing, so I don't have to like go in game to look stuff up. But cheers.
Wait, are we getting the unending journey, or is it?
No,
just
it's so far
Japan?
just
It didn't
Japan
say.
only.
Yeah, it's Japan only, but I got to imagine they'll localize it at some point.
They don't even have to. It's less about localizing it, and more about having somebody else from another region copy and paste all the time.
Well, it's about printing.
I'm sure it's
it
a little
Yeah,
bit
and
more.
to
then
a
people
little
actually
bit
go buy
more.
it.
A little bit more, but it starts with Control C and Control V.
Sure does. Yes.
Yeah. Somebody
on
said
the
that
top-
Sly. I hope you're shaking your head for the same reason I am. Somebody's saying on the site they probably have a 14 brand inseminator Emmett Selk replica. Is that like a turkey?
Just a turkey
yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. I was just gonna say it's just an Emiratian turkey baster. That's all it is.
Perfect.
Perfect is not the word I would have used for that. That's-
God.
Well, on the topic of like the FanFest stuff.
Oh God! Thank God he
I
said on the
actually-
topic of FanFest stuff and not.
on the topic of inseminators, FanFest stuff rather. However, so we're probably not going to be doing like the media tour type of stuff that they usually do, right? So what do you guys think, like, how that's going to affect what they do either at FanFest or later? Because media tour is always how we get the information of like the job action trailer and like all that stuff.
I just think the media tour
Oh,
is
yeah,
later. I think it's just closer to fall.
Yeah.
That's all.
You think they're still going to
Yeah.
do it?
I think what the equivalent of it, essentially.
They'll do it digitally.
Is more
like
than
digital media tour.
So here's the thing: if it were to be anything, no gameplay. testing at all. No physical appearance. It would be a Zoom call with like a presentation that has the information. There's no way. So I wouldn't expect it. No.
Unless
they would have to make you like download the client and connect.
Yeah, and that's so dangerous. It's so unsecure.
And that sounds like what Mike's been asking for like the longest
time.
No.
Because this. So what I've been asking for is a PTR, which is a beta realm that's accessible for testing purposes, specifically for the most limited of things. Not unfeasible, but if they were to do a Mediator-esque thing, it would have to be select people, and it is such a security risk. It is such a security. They'd have to send,
it would get leaked. Right.
They'd have to send people like full on like hard drives and like computers that were like triple like mass like super encrypted and shit like that. It's companies do it. Companies absolutely do it, especially in the pandemic. I don't think they are willing to take that risk. So I wouldn't expect a Mediator equivalent. At most, I'd expect maybe they do like Zoom calls and go over the details of like what to expect, and maybe give like assets and descriptions and gameplay or something, like maybe pre-record a bunch of stuff for people to make stuff. I don't suspect we'll see anything close to people being able to like download and play and whatnot. I just don't think it'll happen.
Yeah.
But how are we going to get our tooltips?
That's what I was going to say. So people are going to have to go without the tooltips.
Yeah, no tooltips. I mean, I don't think they like the tooltip thing anyway, because they always put a ton of warnings about like, don't take these numbers too seriously. But it happens every time, no matter how many times we say it, it happens. So I think honestly, they are perfectly okay with the idea of not having tooltips.
Yeah, but we do miss out on the fact of all of us being able to play the jobs and give people like feedback of what they feel like, so I feel like that is a loss, because I think there's a lot of valuable information there, and also just hyping it up. There's a lot of hype around that too.
Yeah. 9 potency flamethrower, I remember that.
Yeah.
God, I remember making PDFs for those fucking tooltips. Jesus Christ.
I do remember you doing that too.
I think you're right, Mike. I think that's probably what they're going to do. And it is disappointing because the content that we produce as a result is going to be like pretty dang homogenous. Because I just remember like every media tour, I see you guys over there like, working on the dummies with all the jobs while I just record like 8 hours of wandering around the zones to do lore tours.
Yeah, and it's so cool too because like everybody's like going in there like getting the footage. Yeah, they all have their own focus of the footage that you want to get. Yeah.
Yeah, and sort of between like everyone, we end up with a really kind of diverse set of content to produce.
Yeah,
and that's unfortunately not going to be the case this time around. So we just have to make the most of it.
That's it,
I guess.
That's all it has to. And maybe none of that happens, and they just do the live letter with the job action trailer, and it's a surprise for absolutely everybody, and nobody knows about it in advance.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah,
which could be exciting too, because it means that we'd be live streaming our first reaction to seeing, and not live streaming like, I'm glad you guys finally get to see this, which is always really fucking weird, mind you. And it's like, oh my god,
that's true.
What does that ability do? And we look like fucking tools the whole time, because it's like 3 days before we're allowed to talk about it.
Yeah.
Happens every time. Oh man, this is exciting information.
And the getting hounded for the information too. I'm sure you get that a lot, Happy, especially.
Yeah, everyone just
They're like, oh, can you tell us? I'm like, no, I cannot.
No. Blink twice if it does this. So he didn't blink. Got it. Brutal.
Yeah.
All right, well, with that, we're a little bit over time. I don't think there's any super important detail that we glossed over. There's probably something, but you made me do the ultimate
besides the
talk.
3 hours of QVC, no. I think we're good.
I'm looking forward to that album, that Sinners and Scions album at the very least. That I am indeed looking forward to. Apparently, the Limsa incense, by the way, was just about $40.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Addition disappointment. Got it.
That's about right.
Yeah. So there you go. Yeah. Oh yeah, the triple triad 4-star cards finally. that was pretty nice. Yeah. You can use they're gonna change it so you can it at least seems like you're gonna be able to use 1 4-star card per deck and 1 5-star. Most likely. I hope. They were very vague about it, but I hope that that is indeed the case. Please. Okay. Anyway.
Had to let that out.
Yeah, I did. It really, really fucking kills my soul when I think about it. So we'll see.
Yeah.
And a new main attraction for the Gold Saucer, but they didn't tell us what it is. Something on the scale of Mahjong.
Yeah.
So I know Sly wants Koi Koi. Sly's all about the Koi Koi. He wants that.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
And no Xbox announcement. Woo! Anyway.
Woohoo.
Woo! Some people are celebrating that. All right. But with that, I think we can bring this show to a close and then do a short post show because I know it's late for you. Sly, we cut a stream early, and I don't know what you're doing tonight, Larry, but I'm sure it's important.
I'm going to eat.
Same. High five.
There we go.
Yeah.
Got it. Bam. Look at my elbow. It always lands. Okay. Well, with that, thank you again to our sponsors, Steel Series, and of course our patrons, who we thanked at the start of the show when Ethys wasn't paying attention, so he couldn't get his PogChamps off for once in the chat right there, or whatever emote it is he wants to spam. So thank you to all of them. Don't forget to enter the giveaways in the description of the YouTube videos. Go check that out. And with that, let's do our sign-offs and go to a short post show. So Larry, thank you for joining us. It's good to have you. We have you very, very infrequently. But it's always a pleasure when people get to remember that I am not the one who corrupted you. So,
yeah.
It was not me.
Thank you guys so much for having me. It's always a blast. Thank you guys.
Why don't you tell everyone what you've been working on and where they can find you at?
I'm Larry. I make videos. I'm working on a game. I tweet things. You can find me on Larryzaur on all those things.
Concise.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it. I was like, maybe he'll talk about his game a little bit. Like, maybe it'll be like, what's the plan?
Like, I was gonna.
I'm working on a game. It's called Not Only 9. It's got a cat. I have some art that I put out on it. I don't want to say too much more.
That's good.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's got the detail of it's got a cat is that's like
you play as a cat.
That's the premier thing.
Yeah, and you can sleep. You just push a button and you sleep.
I wish it worked like that in real life.
Yeah. Pretty awesome.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
That's it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
For more information, follow him, and when the game comes out, you'll know.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I'm going to play it.
Really?
Yes. And I'm going to buy it, too. I'm not going to ask for it for free. I'm going to buy it.
No.
Well,
yes.
Okay. Well, you're going to get it anyway, so.
I'm going to buy it.
That's awesome. Thank you, dude. Thank you.
All right.
I got to finish it.
Yeah. I'll buy it when it's finished. Yeah. That's I'm not going to buy it before it's finished. I might want it unless it has early access. We'll see.
Okay.
That's it. Anyway, we'll talk about that. That's when it comes out. That's it. We'll be good. Game. Yeah, exactly.
Game.
See, everyone understands why I want to play the game. I got my own little shithead at home, so I need to play as one of them to understand them.
What a coincidence! The cat's name is Shithead.
Spoilers. There you go. I thought what if it's pronounced Shitid? Never mind. Anyway, that's an angry video game nerd joke for anyone who gets it. Or no, Batid. His is Butthead. What if it's pronounced Batid? There you go. So that's Shitid.
That's terrible.
Ethys, you're here. Where can they find you, and what are you working on?
Oh, geez, I'm still here, aren't I? What am I working on? I have got like 5 pages of notes about Thavnair and everything you know about Thavnair. So that's one thing I'm working on. I'm going to be doing an Ask Ethys real soon about Endwalker stuff and answering people's questions about what we know and what we might know and what we're kind of hoping to see. And I'm doing a trailer dissection, which will be good fun. But you guys know me. You can find me Ethys Asher, Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, all the places. Come and check out some Final Fantasy XIV lore content. Hey,
you're working on the Heavens Ward tempering with Moose. I saw that exchange on social. I was like, that looks like it's going well.
Yeah. We've been Moose and I have been having some fun. Yeah. Actually, Moose and I think are going to be on Mog Talk on the weekend. Excellent. So come by and check that out. We'll be doing some lore talk.
Excellent.
So that'll be great.
Excellent.
But that's me. That's where I'm at.
A lore video on Asian Juice.
Yeah, that's for
April.
Patreon.
That's that's in April. That's in April.
Yeah, can I come?
Insemination.
Yeah, put that video out on April 1st.
Was that a euphemism, Larry?
No.
I don't believe you.
I cannot. I cannot.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much for having me again. It's always a blast. Sly?
What are you working on, Sly? Where can they find you at?
Why am I here with all this? Please save me. But you can find me at twitch.tv/Sly, aka Gray Fox. You can find me on Twitter at Sly the Fox. Again, of course, doing Station WSLY, grooving you through the 70s and 80s of Japan. Had our first anniversary last week. So if you haven't checked the Patreon, we have a free mini mix and free official mix available to everybody. You don't even need to be a patron. So free music, free stuff.
Hell yeah.
Go take it. But yeah, working on stuff for Station WSLY in concert with other people. Can't say what. Other than that, I'm playing with robots, getting into Lubrum Savage, trying to, and more robots, just biding time until we can hunt. So yeah, that's me. Haps, what are you up to? Where can I find you? What are you doing?
Oh, reading Twitch chat's what I'm up to. As I saw Ethys was as well when I looked at his face. Oh my god.
Oh jeez, what have we done?
Oh no. Oh, anyway, Mr. Happy, right? That's me. All the places.
Yeah.
I'm working on my Delibram Savage guide, which will have all of the recommendations for actions. It'll have all the perspectives of the different sides and everything.
Ooh.
I don't expect it to be the most. I expect people to optimize on it more still, but we are clearing pretty much nightly with that, so it should work out for pretty much everyone as well.
Get ready for those happy strats.
Yeah, well, I came up with almost not a single. There's not really strat. Like there's one thing I think that's like really a strat, and everything else is kind of like how they intend you to do it. Almost, there's not really anything too difficult. It's like an extreme trial. There's like a little bit of things you can do to do it like a little better here and there, but for the most part, it's just about not dying. So we'll see. We're gonna have some fun times. Just hoping to help some people get through it and progress through it a little bit, because it is an undertaking. I'm actually going to be doing it again in an hour and a half. I got another run.
Yeah, boy.
I'll have my full judge set and 5 more gold coins. My full augmented judge set and 5 gold coins with a 2.08 GCD now in Bosnia with all that stuff.
My goodness. Dang, dude.
Yeah, those glares are going fast.
I want to try that on Black Mage. Holy crap.
Run's canceled. No. Actually, I wouldn't mind that. I got to work. Maybe I don't have a run tonight. We found out now. Let me find it. Yeah. No. Okay. Maybe it is canceled.
Never mind.
Never mind.
No judge gear for you.
Unless that person. Hold on. I'm going to find out before we wrap this show up. Let's see. Runs. Announcements. Recruitment. Tuesday, 9 p.m. run canceled. Open for... they did say tonight was really tentative. They did say that last night. So, tomorrow night. Okay. Tomorrow night I have a run then. Okay. More sleep. More work. Nice. I get to work on the Savage Guide now. Woo! There you go.
Hey, let's go.
That's what I missed. Okay, perfect. All right, with that, let's go into a short post show, and we will see you next week. Next week, probably doing a show about Delibram, and probably Blue Mage too, because those are both part of all the same patch. Talked about them a little bit today. Dive in deeper to them next week for anyone who's looking to learn more about that. So thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Until then, take care.
Next week.
And I know I forgot to change the outro screen, so I'm going to do that now so it has Larry in it.
Oh, really?
Yes, hold on. Yeah, I knew. I just remembered that I forgot in all of my excitement. I know I made the outro screen. I just didn't change it. Watch this. Bam. Fancy. Larry's name is on there.
Unbelievable.